Welcome to the Park Fanatic Podcast. Please remain seated while the podcast is in motion.
Welcome, everybody, to another exciting episode of the Park Fanatic Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Gabriel.
And I am your other host, Garrett. Thank you guys for tuning in. We've got an excellent episode and a wonderful guest.
We actually have somebody here with us.
And it is the lovely Jeff DePaoli.
Lovely. That's probably the first time I've ever been introduced that way. Thank you, Garrett. Hi, guys. It's me, Jeff DePauli.
Ooh.
He's got a smoky little voice there.
Perfect for radio.
Perfect
podcasting
for our
voice.
Because our voices are sexy.
I hear people call your voices sexy.
Oh, what?
That's
that
it?
actually happens?
I hear you say it on your
Oh,
show.
yeah. I say it all the time about myself.
Oh, yeah. We've gotten plenty of compliments.
Haven't you heard? We compliment ourselves all the time on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about walking around with my shirt off on rides all the time.
Oh, yeah. It's nice.
If you guys missed that joke, that was on the last episode. So make sure to check out the last one. Yeah, apparently people really find us, or we find ourselves sexy enough.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Sexy enough.
Sexy enough is what it is.
At least vocally. I'm sexual vocally. That's how I do it. So I hear you guys had a little bit of a run-in at Disneyland recently. Is that right?
A text run-in.
We could have had a run-in. I found
enough.
it the day after that we were at the same annual pass event.
Yes. So we went to the annual pass event that was on Monday, this past Monday. And this is the first time that I've ever been to an annual pass event, ever.
Any annual pass event? Wow.
This is the first time. I never really went. I just never had the time.
Yeah.
So does Disney do this pretty frequently for just their season pass holders?
The one that we went to is specifically, it's called a renewal event. And I think it's either 3 or 4 times a year. If your pass is about to be expired, they're trying to be like, hey, remember the magic that we bring and come enjoy a night with us. And it's to encourage you to renew.
Of course.
So it happens 3 or 4 times a year. And the cool thing is when it's your turn, you can bring 6 people, I believe, as long as they have annual passes. Even if theirs isn't expiring, you can still sign them up to go.
So you have to find someone to
you have to have a friend for each quarter, essentially. Yeah, so you can go to all of them.
Oh, if you have enough friends, hopefully.
Yeah.
I don't have that many friends.
Oh, that's sad.
And you don't have an annual pass to Disneyland. So.
I get with it. We both have one.
In either case.
I need
program,
to.
man.
Money, man. how much are they running now?
$700.
A lot of money.
$700?
The premium's $700.
I don't have the
Stab me
premium.
in the
I just have the SoCal. I'm fine with that because I don't need
You
that
still
many
have
days.
that? Didn't that expire?
No, it didn't expire.
I thought they don't offer them anymore.
They don't offer it anymore, but if you're in, you're grandfathered in.
Oh, so you're grandfathered, huh? Lucky.
But yeah, so I went for my first time. I was actually quite surprised at how crowded it was outside. I almost didn't want to go anymore just because of the crowds. They had the longest line I've ever seen of people just zigzagging, getting wristbands, and
it
just
moved
trying
quickly.
to get in. It moved very quickly. It moved extremely quickly. So luckily we got in very fast. And then from there on out, it was a great time. Short lines. We got fabulous seating for the parade.
Yeah.
Which is an awesome parade. Probably one of the best.
Paint the night, yeah. It was definitely one of those. I mean, I think the perks are the crowds. Unfortunately, there's not too much special stuff that goes on. They try to make it sound more special than it actually is. It's really like the park's open, come have fun.
It's
with
just
less
an
people.
empty Disney, practically.
Pretty much.
That's really
for
all
pass
it is.
holders to play at.
I think when they first started these, they actually were more special. And as time's gone on, they're just like, let's just keep the park open.
And that's all they need to do. I mean, if you get anything special as an annual pass holder, they're going to jump at it.
Yeah. I will say the best thing, special events at Disneyland, always try the shooting gallery because it's often free.
Oh, that's so
You
cool.
told me that right before we recorded, and I'm really angry that I didn't do it.
It's
Right?
Because
I
I would have
would
spent
know.
my entire time there shooting up stuff, trying to find the secret shots, make all the things happen.
It's
Man,
fantastic.
I'm bummed. I'm really, really bummed that.
I tweeted it. You obviously weren't reading Twitter that night.
Because Nikki was getting
busy.
mad at me for being on my phone the entire night. I was trying to tweet things for Park Fanatics and
Wives.
Soon to be wives.
Soon to be. I'm sorry. Fiancés.
She's like, put your phone away. I'm right here.
She's right.
The life
She's
of
right.
a
I know
podcaster,
she's
though.
right. That's why I put my phone away and I didn't do anything.
No, there were some people who were very happy. I did tweet it. I was like, shooting gallery free. And some people were like, thank you.
Wow.
I would have been there in a heartbeat. I wish I did. One thing I actually really wanted to do, and we didn't have time. We just ran out of time. I really wanted to go on the Mark Twain. The Mark Twain was running at night. How cool was that?
I did it because of Rick West. And did you hear this from Rick West?
I didn't hear him.
Okay, so Rick West just did Jeff Tucker's 91 Reasons.
Yeah, I listened to it.
And I think it was on his show. Somebody, or maybe it was on Periscope or something, but somebody said, no, it was Jeff asking like the hidden gems that people don't normally think about.
Oh, yeah.
And Rick West said, you know what? Riding the Mark Twain at night, because it's such a rarity these days.
Yeah.
And because of Fantasmic, it often doesn't run at night. And so I was there, and I'm walking by, I'm like, you know what? It's open. Let's just. So I text Rick and I'm like, "Hey, Rick, I'm going on the Mark Twain at night." And he's like, "Dude, enjoy." So it was cool. It was a fun little experience. I'm glad I did it.
Special.
That's one thing I definitely wish I had done, but next time for sure. I don't think I'm not going to be a pass holder, so I'm always going to be a pass holder regardless of how expensive it is. So I'll do it eventually.
That's why they can keep raising prices because.
People will pay it.
People will pay it.
People will
it's
definitely
unfortunate that people will pay that.
Yep, it's our faults.
Yeah.
So let's find out a little bit about our guest. We have somebody here with us. Tell us who you are, what you do, Jeff.
Tell us about Disney Coast to Coast.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, Disney Coast to Coast is a podcast that that's how I met you guys.
Yeah.
Garrett.
Oh, yeah. We're fans of the show.
Yes. So it's a Disney podcast, of course.
It's a video podcast, too, so we get to see your pretty faces.
A vlogcast?
It is. It's on
Video
podcast. A vodcast.
A vodcast? Does that make sense?
Sure.
It doesn't make sense. It's okay. Let's move on.
It's a podcast. Sure. So
Semantics.
it is taped. Season 1 was all audio. Season 2 we added the video thing, so it's on YouTube now as well as iTunes and SoundCloud, and everything is at DisneyCoastToCoast.com. And me and my co-host Patrick, we talk everything Disney, but primarily theme parks and movies often. So
Disney Coast to Coast, both parks, right?
Well, it started because he was living in Orlando, I was living here in California, and the concept was we get representation from both coasts. And then Patrick moved to California, so that's a little, but we still talk about both coasts. We talk about all the Disney parks, so it's just kind of like the title stayed, but the concept changed a little. But I actually prefer doing it with both of us here because it's just a completely different energy being in the same room.
The dynamic's really different when you have somebody in the room able to interact with them. And, I've noticed that when we try to do an episode over Skype it's just different.
That's what we used to do. We used to do Skype, and I was like, oh, this is very... It was weird the first time we sat together in a room, and we met at the D23 Expo. Like, that's how we initially met in 2013. And then it just... the Skype thing happened, then we get in the same room, and it's like, holy moly, completely different energies. It's fun.
And it's a great energy, too.
No, yeah, great show. And then you also do Periscope
I love
freaking
Periscope.
day.
I do.
Every day.
The daily Disney decision.
It's true. The daily Disney decision on Periscope.
Anywho.
On Periscope, it's at Jeff DePaoli. So if you go to DisneyCoastToCoast.com, you can figure out how to spell my last name there. And but... Yeah, daily Disney decision every day. I have been doing it, I think, since April and never missed a day.
Wow.
And I love it.
I'm always mad at myself.
Both of us were just like, wow.
I'm always mad when I miss it. It's like, oh, I want to see the DDD today.
Here's the thing. I'm really...
D-cubed.
I almost did call it that for a while. I was like, we'll see. But
D3.
D3. Like Mighty Ducks 3.
Oh!
But I'm really, like, committed to... audience as far as if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. And Disney Coast to Coast, we're going on, I think we're in episode 80 something or other. Never missed a week. We take a hiatus at the end of the year for about 3 or 4 weeks from December to January. But between there, never miss a week. Daily Disney decision every day. And I knew that going in. I was like, if I'm going to be calling this a daily Disney decision, I'm going to do it every day. And next week, I think, either next week or the following week, I'm going to be starting a Disney show on Blab. That's going to be weekly.
Ooh,
Dang.
very cool.
So I want to be on that.
You
certainly
fun. Can.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
There will be contestants and everything.
Is it going to be like a contest show?
You'll find out in about a week or two. So
still in the conceptual stages and figuring everything hang out.
No, I know exactly what it's going to be. I'm just not talking about it.
Where can they find you on Blab?
I'm at Jeff DePaoli on Blab, so it's JEFFDEPAOLI.
I remember I used to have to keep spelling your name phonetically in my head. I kept saying DePaoli.
Yeah.
DePaoli.
Yeah.
So
It's a tough one.
So has that information ever been out in the public that you're doing a show on Blab? Have you said that anywhere else?
I mentioned it on Periscope.
You mentioned it on Periscope, but on this show, this is the first time that you kind of said it.
It's official now.
It's official on
I
our
said
show.
it on Park Fanatics Podcast, so it is official now.
You know, I envy the fact that you actually do. I'm impressed that you do a Periscope every day because I've done Periscopes every now and again, and I know that you've watched because I've seen you pop up.
It's a whole nother monster.
It's a whole nother monster, but it goes by so fast.
Yeah.
Like, you think, I was only on for 15 minutes, and you were on for like an hour and a half talking about that.
The daily Disney decisions are only about 10 minutes long. It's when I'm with Rick West, who I made a Periscope monster, and he will tell you that.
Drinkies with TPA.
Well, the funny
Late
thing was
night.
he scoped a lot around the parks and such, and then I had him over because he was a guest on Disney Coast to Coast. He was a guest on Disney Coast to Coast, and he stuck around after, and we're chatting. I'm like, why don't you be part of today's Daily Disney Decision? And he's like, I don't get in front of the camera. I'm like, oh, no, come on, let's do this. So we do it, and then we did like a Q&A after, and it went on for hours. And now, if you follow Rick West at what is
TPA,
this? At
TPA Magazine.
At TPA Magazine
Every
on Periscope.
night?
It's not every night,
It's
but
almost
he does,
every
pretty
night.
close.
He often does a scope, and he'll go for hours.
And they're never 10 minutes.
It's funny because he loves just answering people's questions.
Yeah.
Like anybody, he just loves talking dorky stuff.
We
That's
love
just how it
watching
is.
him talk about dorky stuff
Yeah.
too. That's why he's such a celebrity on Periscope.
I got him on a big roll because I said, "Hey Rick, did you ever get to experience alien encounter, extraterrestrial experience?" And he just went on this long story about the ride. So I loved hearing
What was
that.
his opinion? Like, did he?
He said it didn't belong in the Magic Kingdom. He's
Well, it
like,
didn't.
It doesn't belong in the Magic Kingdom. But he's
That
like,
thing was so
if it was
intense.
at the time, it was MGM. But he's like, if it was an MGM, it totally belongs there,
That's true.
100%, but not in the Magic Kingdom.
Well, plus it was
no.
stupid. I never liked it.
Really?
Yeah,
It
I
was
never
so
liked it.
terrifying. I
I
remember
didn't
as a
find it that
kid.
scary. I was like, this is stupid. Like, I'm in the dark. But apparently a lot of people thought it was scary.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is, it was actually supposed to be based on the Aliens movies.
Yes, I actually found that out recently, and then Michael Eisner, that was his idea,
Yeah.
and people were like, you cannot bring a rated R movie theme into Disney. Like, that doesn't make sense.
So
way.
it changed, and now it's Stitch's Great Escape, which is equally as lame in my opinion.
Do they
haven't
still
done
have the
either of
over-the-shoulder
them, so-
restraints and everything for that
Yeah,
ride?
Yeah, because the over-the-shoulder restraints aren't to keep you in your seats.
It's supposed to land on you.
Yeah, it's because they put pressure on them throughout, and it makes it feel like he's hopping around the room.
Yeah.
It's silly.
It's a fun little
It's
touch.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, I felt like I was trapped in there with the alien encounter one. It was so, and then they spray you with the
The
Yeah.
warm water
The
to make it
warm
feel like
water.
it's blood.
You know what I found on YouTube once was somebody had like a night vision.
Oh, I watched the
video
same
of
one,
it,
I think.
where you could see like
There's effects happening and
yeah,
stuff.
so because you're in darkness for most of the attraction or half of it or whatever, so it's fun to kind of see what's going on through the night vision goggles. I thought that was fun. As like a creative person, I'd be like, oh, I hate those people because I would be so
it's cheap.
angry if somebody.
taking all the magic out of it.
Yeah, God, it drives me nuts. There's so much of that today, behind the scenes information. I'm
yeah.
like, it's like going to see David Copperfield perform and having him explain to you exactly how he does every trick. It's like,
And I'm sure someone would pay to see that. Totally.
Oh, yeah, I would.
I'm looking. Walt started it. You know, Walt's my man. He's my idol. But Disney, if you're not getting the reference, but he did it a lot on his show.
He would say how things are done.
He would always tell people how things are done. And today we live in a society that is so much about all of that extra material, whether it's Twitter and wherever online. And it's so easy to make behind the scenes footage because all that it requires is another camera to be shooting what you're already doing as opposed to producing brand new material. So I get it. I understand. And people are interested. But like, as a creator, it drives me crazy. And I do it myself. I'll show people behind the scenes footage of Disney Coast to Coast or whatever because people are interested.
Yeah.
But
I think it's human nature. It's just we have to figure out how this works.
How things work. That
What's
is
going
human
on
nature.
here? It doesn't make sense. I know it's supposed to be magical, but there's got to be some way to explain it.
But how great is it when you don't know how it's done?
Oh, totally.
I remember the first time for me when that actually happened. Like, I went to, it was a Disney experience. I was 6. I went in the tiki room, and it started to rain outside. And as a kid, I couldn't comprehend how they were making it rain outside. Like, now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh, that's stupid. but as a kid, it blew my mind, and I just wanted to know so badly how they made it rain.
Yeah,
I just didn't get it, and then that's part of the magic. I think, honestly, I don't want. Half the time I want to know, half the time I don't want to know, because I feel like it ruins it. I feel like half the time it really ruins it.
Here's the thing.
Depends on the person, too.
I was going to say, I always want to know, because I always want to know, how can I create that?
Exactly.
But
Yes.
The majority of the public has no interest in creating anything in that. They just want to be nosy, essentially.
Yeah.
So I'm really anti giving the secrets away. But it's right now, we're just not in that place. If I were in a Walt Disney or George Lucas type of, success story, where they don't need to give away their secrets, I wouldn't. No. I'd be like, I'm sorry, you're not going to get those special features.
But
I'm sorry, everybody's going to sign NDAs. It's just.
But you know that it would leak and it would get out there and that people would figure it out.
I would do everything in my power for it not to leak.
Yeah. But see, even if it were to leak, it's part of the lore. It's the conversation where it's like, oh, I heard so-and-so did this for this to happen and all this. It's part of the story.
It just takes away from it.
It does.
Can you imagine if we didn't know what CGI was and we saw all these movies and we'd be like,
dude,
what?
Did you see Avatar? They actually made actual aliens for that.
But seriously, but now we go into a movie.
Float, man.
Yeah, we go to a movie and we see that stuff and we're just like, well, it was made in a computer. That just... It takes away from it. And every once in a while, there are moments in films where I'd be like, was that CG? Wasn't that CG? And I'm always so impressed when I have that question. And I'm always like, I don't really care whether it was or not. That was fantastic. Yeah. And that's the point. But the minute that you're told, oh, it was CG, it's like, oh, well, now you've ruined it for me. Thank you.
I'm always really impressed. This is a much larger, bigger topic.
This is quite a tangent.
Yeah, but just to wrap that up, but I am always impressed as well whenever I can't tell when something's practical or when it's CG.
And that's
I
when
think
it's
the mixture
extra
of both
special.
is when it's married perfectly together.
Yeah. Totally.
So
when you can not decide whether it is fake or not, that's when the magic really happens.
And the perfect situation would be as if you can't decide and you're not told.
Yeah.
Because when you go and do it again, you still don't know.
Mm-hmm. And bringing that full circle back to Disney parks, I think the age range of kids that mostly visit Disney parks probably being 7 to 12.
Yeah, that magic still works on them.
Still works on them.
Totally.
And they can't tell whether something's real or not because they go into Haunted Mansion, a 7-year-old or an 8-year-old going to Haunted Mansion, and they legitimately think that they're stuck in a room that's stretching.
Oh yeah,
that's what they think, and that's the magic that's working.
How else
for
could
them.
you explain that
with the CGI that people don't know is real or not?
I feel like the age keeps getting younger and younger.
Because kids keep getting smarter and smarter too.
Yeah, and the internet is reaching the younger generation.
Internet too probably helps.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and they're so.
You get 7-year-olds saying YOLO.
And that's unfortunate. What is the age where kids stop believing that Mickey Mouse is Mickey Mouse? I really don't know, but I feel like it's a very young age.
It's probably the same age that they stop believing in Santa Claus. And
I don't know.
Which is what,
Easter Rabbit.
My nephew is 5 or 6, and he still believes in Santa Claus, and he still believes in Mickey Mouse and Mickey Mouse.
Keep believing. That's part of the magic of childhood.
But I feel like I
believe in that stuff.
I feel like I've heard young kids say, oh, that costume, referring to Mickey Mouse, that person in the costume. And I'm just like, what?
That's not a costume. That is Mickey Mouse.
That kid could just be very astute.
Yeah.
That kid could just be very, very astute.
Party pooper is what that kid is.
That kid needs to shut up.
Just go hug him.
I do feel like that's most kids these days. At a certain age, of course. So, anyway, tangent.
You get a lot of information on this show today. Tons of stuff that's even covering topics we never, ever talk about.
So, we should probably get into it. We have a lot of announcements that came out over the last couple days. We're recording about a week before we're releasing this, so this is right after the Six Flags announcement.
2 days ago. 2 days ago, they released all the new rides that they're putting in a lot of their theme parks.
Holy
a ton of
crap,
their theme parks.
A lot of them too. They have 14 14 parks that are getting new attractions or rethemed attractions.
Yeah,
which is that's a lot. That's a big ticket item right there.
And a lot of them are kind of carnival-y rides. I don't know.
A lot of
there's one of them called Fireball, which is just a looping ride that just goes upside down over and over
and that's
over
the one that got so much crap last year because they kept calling it a coaster.
It's not a coaster,
even though it's just a looping I always called those meteorites because I played Roller Coaster Tycoon as a kid.
I love that ride. I mean, that game. Sorry, I love that game.
I would spend hours on that game. And I'm not a gamer at all, but that thing would get me addicted.
Would it make me sadistic if I literally launch people off for fun?
I think everyone did that at least once. You had to do that once.
Or twice, and then they
have,
shut the ride down.
A lot of people would vomit in my park, I remember. Like,
Speaking of vomiting,
to make them vomit.
Yeah.
Speaking of vomiting, one of the announcements at Six Flags looks like something out of Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Are you talking about that Harley Quinn like spinning ride?
That too, but no, Total Mayhem over.
Oh God, I hate those rides.
Oh, it's like a 4D
they're
coaster.
Like the free spinning ride. So have you ever seen the Green Lantern at Six Flags?
Yes.
Yeah.
I won't do that.
No, and this one's different. This one's a little bit better.
A little different. So it's not so close over the track. It's actually extended out. So the cars kind of look more akin to like X.
Yeah, and they actually spin independently too. Whereas Green Lantern rotates all as one. So if you get heavier people on the other side, you're going that direction. This one, it doesn't matter. Everyone's independent.
Okay, but even regardless of that type of ride design, I've heard from so many people, is just unbelievably painful.
Well, that's what I keep wanting to say Golden Lantern. Green Lantern, that one was very painful. This one was supposed to combat that, this new version of it.
Yeah, Nikki went on it, and she will never, ever go on it again.
Me either. Rip it out, burn it to the ground. I hate
You
that
won't
thing.
do it?
Green Lantern? No.
Really?
I hate it. It's
hurts.
terrible.
It's because of the way the gravity brings the car down. You land all of your force on the
your
seat.
on your crotch
butt,
is what you land on.
It sucks. It's really terrible.
It just looked scary to me, so I was like, no, thank you.
I feel like I'm going to die on that, and not in a fun way that some coasters
See,
give.
scary doesn't bother me, but pain bothers me when I'm trying to be entertained.
Oh, pain is horrible.
Which is half the reason why I don't like going Bug's Life or Bug's Tough to Be a Bug when they go.
I love
and they
that.
Stab you in the back.
I love It's
stinger.
Tough
I'm
to
like,
Be a
don't
Bug.
hurt me. Stab me in the spine.
Do you know what I call a Bug's Land?
What?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Land.
That's what it should be.
I'd do anything to keep that movie alive. Oh my god.
I'd die if that came back at the Magic Eye Theater.
Oh, you
Or the
remember when they had
Tomorrowland
that in the-
Theater, sorry.
Yeah,
The
Honey, I Shrunk
3D?
the Audience. I loved
so
Honey, I Shrunk the
good.
Audience.
good.
It was,
I like-
outdated.
I
but
liked Captain EO, but I love Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Oh, that was such a fun show. And at the end, the dog would sneeze on you at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. I quick little story. When Garrett and I were, I'm not a coaster guy at all, but Garrett and I were talking about Six Flags, I think, and I was explaining, I'm not much of a coaster guy. And he was like, well, what have you gone on? And I'm like, well, I did Goliath. And he's like, you did Goliath?
That's a big ride.
I was like, you know what? That was a mistake. My whole thing was like, oh, there's no loops, so it won't be that bad.
But it's a hyper coaster.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's 255 feet. That's
It's
no
massive.
small coaster.
When I was climbing that hill, oh my goodness,
Crap your pants,
I
huh?
was like, oh my god, this is a mistake, and there was just no way out at that point. I was like, oh my god, but his reaction was so funny when I'm not a coaster guy. I did Goliath.
Conquered Goliath of all things. So what did you think of it after you got off of it?
I don't know if I would do it again. It's been a long time since I did it.
I'm
It's
dragging
several
you to
years.
Six Flags one of these days. We're getting you
We'll
on
go together.
X2.
We'll do a trip report.
Yeah, we're going to get you on Twisted Colossus too. Have you been on that?
No, I would like to do that. I would
so
like to do
fun.
Twisted Colossus. I think when it comes to Six Flags, what I've learned is I really have to pay attention to what year the coaster was built, because the older coasters hurt.
Well, rough.
Hey, here's an announcement that might
Viper,
help with
Viper's
that.
rough.
Viper is painful.
Never
oh my
done
God.
Viper.
That one's not going to be long-lived.
It was
I have
the
a
same
feeling.
thing for me like it is Ghost Rider, where I love the ride, but it's just,
right.
it's too
Ghost
rough to ride
Rider.
anymore. By the way, just real quick, just because you said that story reminded me of a story that I have. I used to be a complete, scaredy cat of everything. I hated everything. I wouldn't even go on things at Disneyland. That's how big of a scaredy cat I was.
Yeah.
No, exactly. There was a time where my brother and sister called it the Trail of Tears because I would cry every time. But I went to Knott's with my brother, and it was kind of the first time I ever went on a roller coaster. And he was like, "Oh, let's go on Ghost Rider," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's down. I'm good with that one." He goes, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm really excited about
It
this
doesn't
one."
look that
It doesn't look that
intense.
bad. It
This
doesn't
is
look
a
that bad.
wooden roller coaster.
And so we get on the ride, and we're starting to go up, and he goes, "I can't believe you wanted to go on this." I'm like, "It's not that bad, right? It's small." He goes, "Dude, this is the largest, fastest, longest wooden roller coaster in the West."
Yep.
And my face kind of turned pale, apparently, and I'm just staring at him, not saying anything, and he goes, "Well, now you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
And then I just immediately regretted that decision.
It's a terrifying coaster.
But I love it now.
Dude,
I love it.
That first drop,
Rough.
it cannot be matched by anything else. I call it the rip you to hell drop because it gets you right in the stomach. Feels
That's
like you
true.
get punched.
I enjoy it.
The first time I did it was a few years ago, so I thought it was always meant to be that rough.
Oh, yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
apparently it's not.
Wooden
No,
coasters
but I like it for
are
that.
rough in general, but I think just aging of this coaster really took the quality away.
And aging of humans as well.
Speaking of aging roller coasters, we have an announcement from Six Flags Magic Mountain that they are going to be doing a refurb on Revolution, one of the worst, well, not worst rides, just roughest rides.
Yeah,
it's a great
give it a
ride.
break, man. This was like the revolutionary ride. It was the first looping roller coaster
Ever. Well, not ever. I mean, there was ones back in the 1900s that were terrible and broke
those
people's
don't
necks.
count. Those don't count.
First modern
when somebody dies
vertical
on the first ride,
looping.
that means it doesn't count.
It was the first modern vertical loop that was ever
Yes.
on a roller coaster, which that was intense back in the day. 1976 is when that coaster came out.
Kind of a big deal. My parents were there on opening day.
Oh, nice. Very cool. And then in 92, they did the over-the-shoulder restraints, which everyone hated. They called it the torture device.
Because you have an over-shoulder restraint and a lap bar. What the hell is the point?
Yeah. And
There's
you
no
never
point to
needed
that.
it. The whole reason that they did that was because...
Tax break.
No, it wasn't a tax break. It was an insurance break, or at the time the park was saying, "Oh, it's California law," but really, I think they were just trying to get an insurance break by putting that on. It was way more expensive to have just the lap bar there, and that was at the same time they put in Viper, so they were already
That one had shoulder restraints. Well, you need it because it has like 8 inversions.
So yeah, 7 actually.
That was close.
Oh, I got you covered. Don't worry.
It's the Coaster Fanatic, man. He
Coaster
covers
Fanatic.
me, and I cover him on all the Haunt Disney stuff all the time. So.
Totally, yeah. And so at Revolution, they're going to get new trains. They're actually keeping the chassis of the train, and they're going to refurb it. So it's all brand new parts and everything. And then they're from the ground up, they're rebuilding the actual car itself with new restraints, new color, new design altogether. It's going to be a lot
When you
better.
say chassis, that means like the wheels. and everything
Wheels,
attached to
yeah,
that.
all the mechanical parts that keep the train on the rails. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay, are they doing anything to like the actual track itself?
They're going to be doing a little bit of a rehab on it. Not anything too intense, but basically just smoothing out what they can. And, anywhere that maintenance needs to be done on the ride, they're going to take care of it,
So
which is needed.
Sounds
That
like
part
they're
lacks
painting a
maintenance.
turd.
Yeah,
Essentially.
no, it's a classic, man. That was
I'm not
the
saying that
first.
it's not a
It's a
classic.
great
I'm just
ride.
saying that they're making it seem like this brand new ride that they're gonna make it awesome again. And
Well, no,
it
they're
just
calling
sounds
it
like
the
they're
new Revolution.
It sounds like they're repainting the car and then not doing anything to the
Well, they
track,
just-
which isn't going to do anything to the ride.
No, it is, because the whole thing was that your head banged against those restraints. Now that those restraints are going to be gone, it's just going to be a lap bar with the ankle brace, kind of like on Twisted Colossus.
An ankle brace.
Yeah, have
it
you
just
ridden?
pushes against your leg to keep
it's
your
like
legs
these
up
two
against
little
the
U
seat.
bits that like push against your ankles just so that it keeps your legs bent.
These are starting to sound like torture devices.
This is less of a
They
torture
are to some
device than
people.
what was on there. Because the one before was just awful. It was like someone designed like a evil carnival device or something.
Well, it's also kind of
bam.
similar to like Pony Express at Knott's, where they have the pad come behind your leg.
I gotta tell you, that's why I'm scared of the new Tron coaster going to Shanghai, because it looks like a very similar ride vehicle.
Yeah.
I did Pony Express once at Knott's, and I was like, this is really uncomfortable. Like
Really? It's a
having
little
that thing
uncomfortable, yeah.
press your back, like the
If you
Small
breathe,
your back,
in
yeah.
once, it clicks again and it pushes you even closer. And especially the brake
don't
line,
like it.
the brakes at the
Oh,
end.
God, that's
everyone
the
flies
worst.
forward and then it clicks like 3 more times. So you're like,
yeah, not my cup of tea.
yeah, no, it's not fun. But
Well, that's something to look forward to at least. At least you won't get a concussion when you ride that ride anymore.
I'm down with that. And then the other really big news, and I think this is the one that everyone's really, really excited about, is Roar is being turned into
The Joker. Oh
so
my
it's an
God.
RMC remake, and Jeff, RMC stands for Rocky Mountain Construction. I don't know if you know all this stuff. I know that you said that.
I'm not a coaster guy, yeah.
When you hear coaster stuff, you kind of get lost. Like when people don't know Disney stuff, they get lost.
Oh, totally.
So Rocky Mountain Construction is the same company that did Twisted Colossus. So
Okay.
they put steel on top of the tracks, and then they make is it alloy wheels?
Yeah, I think they use urethane wheels.
Urethane wheels, and
Yeah.
then it just makes it buttery smooth.
Oh, it's like glass.
It's not rough anymore. So that's what they're doing to Roar. They're actually
Which
making it into a
needed
ride
it.
called the Joker. So each track It's going to be like purple and green.
Oh,
the
it's
trains
so
are going to have the
cool.
Joker face on it.
Oh, get
Six
this.
Flags.
Six Flags Discovery Kingdom is getting that ride.
This is up north in Vallejo. Oh my god, and it's so beautiful. Have you seen the animations for it yet? Mm-mm. Oh, they're
pretty
introducing
incredible.
a few new elements on this ride. The RMC always seems to come up with their own name for their elements. So this one features the step up underflip, which. What the heck does that mean? It means it's like a uphill barrel roll that kind of comes into a corked helix at the end. So it's basically just a twisted up version of.
I'm pretty sure we've
barrel
had
roll.
this conversation before on stupid
It makes
names
no
for
sense.
stupid tracks.
I know, it's just like they go crazy with it.
I want to know what percentage of people listening know what you just said.
I know, right? Well,
I'd
all
say
the
about
coaster
5.
enthusiasts are like, "Oh
I'd say
yeah, the
about
step up
5.
underflip."
Helix. I'm like, what is he talking about? I mean, I have the advantage of sitting here with you and seeing your hands move as you do this.
But everyone else
But
is driving
still,
saying, what?
I'm just like,
Well,
what?
all the coaster enthusiasts are going, "Oh yeah, totally. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about."
yeah,
totally.
All your people.
Yeah, all my people. We're nerdy people. We know all.
Everyone
the
on
terms
this
and
side
everything.
of the table
I don't
over
know
here
anything.
is like, what is he talking about?
what you
I have
need.
no clue.
I trust you.
fanatic.
A double down and what corks and screws, some that are
180
loop, I don't know.
stalls,
They're all
lips,
stupid names.
loops, whatever. It's all fun.
I just lost like 6 followers for saying that.
Don't worry, I'm going to get them back because we also have 2 other inversions on this roller coaster.
What are those names?
The 180-degree stall. Have you ridden Twisted Colossus?
No, I haven't been to Six Flags in a while.
Okay, so there's the element on that is called the Top Gun stall, and it seems to be everyone's
It's
favorite.
upside down and it rides upside down
For
for
a
a little
long
bit.
time.
Really?
A long time.
And
Yeah.
apparently you're not falling out of your seat at all. You said that you're staying in your
float
seat.
What are the
through it.
restraints on Twisted
Oh,
Coast?
just a
lap
lap
bar.
bar.
Just
With
a
the
lap-
ankle bender.
What is it? There's a lot of loops in it, isn't
2.
there?
Just 2.
That's how RMC coasters are. They don't
2
have
loops and
2.
just a lap
Well, this
bar?
one has 3, and it's just
Well,
a lap
think
bar.
about it. Like rides like Montezuma goes through a loop and you just need a lap bar.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Full throttle,
but
same
like California
situation.
Screaming has 1 loop and you got the shoulder
But that's also
restraint.
you
Yeah.
just have like a massive launch, lots of hills, a
And
drop.
they can load that thing so quick because they're like, sit down, slam, get it out.
Wow.
On this one, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, we got to get the buckle, we got to push it down, make sure your knees are bent. Loading's kind of slow, which
Okay.
is the one problem with RMCs, I think. But it's so worth it for this ride because they have the 180-degree stall, which is that long stall.
Upside down stall.
Oh,
Cool.
The best inversion on a roller coaster, I'd say.
Those scare me. I feel like I'm going to fall out. That's why I'm also a little nervous of full throttle.
I
'cause
love it.
You sit at the top of that loop for such a long
So long, the hang time is crazy. It's insane.
You're falling out of your seat.
Oh my god.
That's how big the loop is. It's the world's largest loop. It's insanity.
And when you're standing in line, there's this like overhang that blocks off the top of the loop. So you see them go up, and then you're like, "Oh, it'll come back
You
around."
wait like 10 minutes and
It's
then
gonna
they
come
finally
any
come
minute.
back down. It
Any
takes
minute
forever.
now, it'll be here. Oh, there it is. Ah,
Thank God.
they didn't get stuck there. Okay. So other than that, they also have a 0G roll on it, which is just your standard barrel roll. Braking wave turn, which another name for another element they came up with.
Stupid.
And 15 airtime moments, so it's not going to be lacking on the airtime either. And that's where you get thrown out of your seat and you think you're going to get bucked off this bucking Bronco.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
So those are 2 of like the really big major rides.
Oh,
a lot of the
beautiful.
other announcements were not too great. They were whoop-de-doo. I'm
Yeah,
spinning my
little
finger in
flat
the air,
rides.
guys.
Yeah.
It's
Flat
like
rides, swinger rides.
Fireball at Six Flags St. Louis and Six Flags New England. There's a few different water rides. Splash Waterfalls at San Francisco. Six Flags. I have it abbreviated, so it's SF. So that's why I said San Francisco.
Splash
Six
Waterfalls.
Flags America. Wahoo
Wahoo
Racer
Racers.
at Whitewater, Atlanta,
6
Georgia.
tubes, 6 water slide
It's a
tubes.
really
Race
big
your friends.
tube.
Oh, that's
Crazy.
cool.
Racer.
6? That's insane.
2 new kids areas over at Six Flags over Georgia.
They got 12 attractions with this. Six Flags
Yeah.
over Georgia
and
really got
this one
the
includes like
big
the
one.
Looney Tunes themes, correct?
And
Oh,
the DC comic
I didn't think
ones.
that they had those rights anymore, really.
Yeah, they still have Looney
yeah.
Tunes stuff.
Yeah, you can still go meet Tweety Bird and Bugs Bunny over at Six Flags.
Then
didn't
why
they-
don't Warner Brother employees get in for free? That's what I want to know.
That is an excellent question.
Maybe they just bought the rights.
yeah.
That's about it.
They've had those guys for years, and I'm happy to see that they still do because those are the characters that I really grew up with. And even though it's kind of lame to see like a giant Tweety Bird, I was still like, oh my god, it's Tweety Bird.
Yeah, that's just you, I think.
I want to get a picture with you and Tweety Bird.
I'll do it. Dude. You have to come with me
Yeah.
so we can take the picture with Tweety Bird.
Okay.
And then we also have Battle for Metropolis at Great America and Six Flags Mexico.
Which is awesome.
Which I'm really sad that we're not getting that. That's honestly,
we will someday.
That's one thing that I wish our Six Flags had was like a good dark ride. This is an awesome dark ride.
Yeah, I've seen video of the which was the one they just opened.
Battle for Metropolis.
Same thing.
Okay.
It's basically just a clone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cool animatronics. It's 3D shooter.
The great shooter.
It's going to be similar to like the
Voyage or Toy Story.
It's not video, is it?
Yeah,
like
it's video, so it's a 4D.
I thought it was mostly
it's got
animatronic.
some practical sets.
It has a lot of practical sets, so it's
a
actually
lot of video
more
screens.
like what's it called? Like a Transformers, where it's they kind of try to blend the screen with the set, but it's more along the lines of voice sharing reports a shooter.
Basically a shooter game.
Cool.
Shooter.
It's
dark
like imagine
ride.
those two rides together, and it's essentially that.
Yeah, Magic Mountain needs one of those.
Yeah, they do. Need an air conditioned indoor dark situation.
I love dark rides.
Dark rides are the best.
So that pretty much wraps it up. I mean, they
Grease Lightning at
same
Great
thing.
Escape.
Another meteorite. They put those at every park now.
They
look fun.
These three make me angry. The Riddler Revenge, Harley Quinn Spinsanity, and Catwoman Whip. Those are all like just carnival
prefab
rides.
things.
Prefab rides. They're not anything special. Then you're throwing on a DC character onto it, saying like it's a triple threat of villains. No, it's not. It's a stupid freaking ride.
But it's a flat ride. Who doesn't like a good flat ride, even if it's supposed to be?
How
a
about you
carnival
take the money from all three of those and make a ride that's actually worth going on?
Ooh.
Oh, he hates
the gauntlet
them
just
flat
got thrown
I
down
like
there.
that stuff, man.
It's because I'm drinking this extended brew.
Yeah, cheers to that, by the way.
Cheers to Extended Brew.
Gave us a couple of their homemade beers called Extended Brew, spelled like Q. BRUUUE. And it's delicious, isn't it? It's good.
It's very good. It's not bad.
Oh, I love it.
And then for the rest of the stuff, they have a backwards ride called Live Vampire.
It's Batman. Like the one we have here, and they have the cars that go on it backwards.
The Batman ride.
Yeah, they run it backwards sometimes.
Fun. Batman's really fun.
I don't like it backwards.
Did you try
it
backwards?
Yeah, I didn't care for it. I don't know if I'm just getting too old or what. Like, I don't know. But it was definitely... Here's the thing. It was Batman. My first loop roller coaster ever was California Screamin' because it was one loop, and I'm like, this is a good thing to test. And you
like that though, right?
I love it. I love California
because it's
Screamin'.
so fun.
I love it because that's a really fun coaster.
It's one of the greatest rides.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's a great,
and it's got everything in it too.
Nice musical score.
A loop, a launch, and a drop.
And
that's like a perfect introducing roller coaster
it's
for
got
anybody.
every element.
And it's got a great musical score to it
and
as well.
Neil Patrick Harris.
No.
You don't like Neil
I
Patrick
hear
Harris?
you have disdain against Neil Patrick Harris.
God, that's a whole show.
I love that man.
I have nothing against that man. I'm so... Oh, he's so overexposed right now. It's absurd.
Right now, what
is
he doing
he is kind of everywhere.
I'm so World of Color.
Well, yeah.
There's no reason for him to be the
fanatic,
host.
just like we are.
That show is so funny.
He's just a Disney fanatic with some pull.
I've seen it once, and I have no interest in seeing it again.
Stuff.
Wow, really?
I think he's got a pretty face that I don't mind seeing everywhere.
It's the worst. It's the worst World of Color.
What?
It is the worst World of Color.
With Neil Patrick Ferris?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Neil Patrick Harris.
And most
Ferris. He's on the Ferris wheel.
Most people would agree with me. Like, the diehard Disney people hate the new World of Color.
Well,
she's shaking her head now.
I like Neil Patrick Harris, and I think he deserves to be everywhere all the time.
Here's the thing. I'm not getting in a whole tangent about this because it'll go over. I have nothing against the guy.
You know, he's into Disney and theme park podcasts. You know that, right?
No, here's the thing.
He's probably listened to your show.
He and I guarantee, would be best of friends. Everything he likes, I like as well. And I guarantee he would agree that he's overexposed. I'm everywhere.
I'm not denying that he's overexposed because he is overexposed. He is everywhere. He really is everywhere. But I enjoyed the charm that he brought to the show as opposed to the fireworks show that to me just felt like a grab at people's childhood because it was nothing about Disneyland. There was a whole portion at the beginning that's like, we had orange groves here. Now remember these 10 songs that you from your childhood, and that's about it. And then the California Adventure Show actually had something to do with Disneyland.
Yeah, it was a commercial for Disneyland, and it was in the wrong park.
It was in the wrong park. It really was. But I mean, I enjoyed like the 50th anniversary fireworks where they went through all the rides. That was awesome.
Remember Dreams Come True was the best fireworks show. I loved Remember Dreams Come True. I think it was much better than Disneyland Forever.
I agree, 100%.
Yes. 100%.
Wow.
Notice neither of those shows have Neil Patrick Harrison in them, yet we
True.
enjoy them so much.
Oh, they're so special. Hey,
Wow,
I'm not
that
saying...
was a tangent from Six Flags
true.
to Disney. I guess that's what happens when you have the host from Disney Coast to Coast on the show.
It's a Disney-heavy episode, but that's
Disney-heavy
good. We
episode.
needed some of these. We were haunt-heavy for so long.
Yeah, we're haunt-heavy because of this guy, and I'm pointing at myself, guys.
Yeah. So we needed a
love the
break.
haunt
We needed
stuff.
some more coasters and haunt stuff.
Love the Huns.
Well, you know that we're during the whole month of October and 1 week of September, we're releasing an episode a week based on
Weekly
different
episodes.
haunts.
Yeah,
Cool.
we have to. There's so
So
many to
we're gonna
cover,
review
so
them.
we needed to get one more of these episodes in before haunt season really kicked
It's
off.
just
Because
going
it's
to be
just going to
haunt
be...
only.
Well,
lot of
we
haunt
will
stuff.
have to talk about scheduling because I'm sure we'll be at a lot of the same places. I have my annual pass to Not Scary.
I'm getting mine
Me
this
too.
weekend.
I got
Oh,
mine.
sweet. You can
Although
see
you
us
guys
all
are
there.
in front of the line, aren't you?
Eventually,
I only go
for
fr-
one.
I only go front of the line one night.
Okay.
Yeah.
One night I do.
Okay.
There's like one night when I go to haunt that's always pre-scare
For the
front of the line.
With the
And that
skeleton
includes
key.
Skeleton key.
Yeah.
Skeleton key.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's
always one night I
okay.
do that
We'll
only.
we'll talk scheduling off the air.
Yes. So you guys don't follow us.
But
But
no,
make
no.
sure to follow us on Twitter.
No, it's not that. It's more so that like we don't keep them here forever.
Why not forever and ever and ever?
Forever.
This is going to be another
Forever.
hour and a half long episode if we're
Forever.
not careful.
Okay, I think Six Flags news is pretty much.
We
done,
wrapped it
right?
up, man.
wrapped
We
that
got
up.
we got one
We wrapped
last
up with me
topic.
getting mad.
Our main topic of the episode.
Star Wars Land.
Wars.
Star Wars.
Hey, guys.
Nothing but Star Wars. Sorry.
Hey guys, is Star
got
Wars
the real
Land
voice.
gonna be out of this world?
Knee slapper.
Oh,
You
that's
were
the knee
like,
slapper
wait
right
a second.
there.
You were like waiting for that.
Actually, I
one.
wasn't. It just popped in my head. It's like,
Oh,
right
good.
at that moment.
No, he's so natural with the corny jokes.
It
They
really
just
is.
pop
It
into
just
his head
kind
all
of
the
just
time.
comes off like I have it sitting there waiting
So
in my
bad.
arsenal, but it's not. But
We
it kinda
love his
is.
corny jokes.
So bad. I love
The
it.
corny jokes are fun.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure people are like, that guy's stupid.
It's okay.
And they do that motion where they put their hands on,
their
hips,
hips.
like, that guy's stupid. But yeah, Star Wars Land. This is probably one of the biggest news to come out of D23.
Absolutely.
I was in the room when this was announced.
How was Jeff? Tell us how the vibe was in that room. Like, what was the energy like being in that room when they announced this? Because I know that they did not announce this in the parks and resorts.
They
They
didn't.
actually announced it in the live action panel, correct?
Yes, and it was
Okay.
weird for that reason. First of all, I literally stood up when they made this announcement. Like, I jumped out of my seat. I was so... Look, we all knew it was coming. It was simply a confirmation that it was coming. So it was
Yeah.
no surprise.
All Disneyers wanted it and knew it was coming.
The biggest surprise to me is that we were told we were getting it in Disneyland and Walt Disney World. That was the shocker. I was
I
like,
think it was only
seriously?
going to be Disney World.
First of all, it's Walt Disney World.
Oh, sorry. for time's sake, Disney World.
No, Walt Disney World always. I thought it was going to be just Disneyland, to be honest. I thought that they were going to get some Star Wars stuff at Walt Disney World, but I didn't expect... I thought the whole land was going to be Disneyland. I was very surprised.
I'm just always expecting them to get something cool and us not get something cool. I'm always expecting that.
That's usually how it works out.
I would disagree with you.
Well, we got Cars Land.
We have Cars Land.
But they're getting Cars Land too.
No, they're not. That's not
getting
been
Toy
announced.
Story.
They're getting
Really?
Toy Story Land.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're not getting Cars Land.
And they're getting, what is it? Pandora.
Pandora,
Avatar.
yeah, which,
at Animal Kingdom, right?
yeah, which
Which I heard was kind of lackluster, like from what we
I'm
saw
not-
at D23.
here's the okay. Here we go. So
He's like, he put his hands out to like,
Laying it
calm
down.
the area before he goes crazy.
no,
Alright.
so the reality is, Disney got a good slap in the face with the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
undeniable.
Oh, yeah.
It is one of the greatest theme park lands ever created. I have
Absolutely.
talked about that a lot. I love it. Disney needed to respond. To me, Avatar Land, or what are they calling it, Pandora, the World of Avatar,
Yeah.
was the immediate response to Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, it was because I actually think that Disney got the first bid on Harry Potter.
Yeah, and
then they said no.
They said no
Well-
because they... J.K. Rowling said no because Disney was like, well, we're in control here. And she's like, oh, no, this is my world. I'm in
Yeah.
control. And Universal gave her that control.
Yeah, they
And
said,
she's-
like, go for it,
And
right?
she's very controlling. Like, literally everything that happens there, she said yes to.
It pays,
so cool.
but it pays off. Look
Absolutely.
at the place; it's freaking
Oh,
gorgeous.
the detail is incredible.
But
over there.
Imagineering's more controlling than Universal Creative.
Oh, yeah.
Good or bad, who knows? That's up for opinion.
Yeah.
But that's why they lost the Wizarding World thing. So they said we need a huge movie franchise to compete with this, and the response was Avatar. Frankly, I was never excited about it. Will
Yeah.
it be a cool land? I'm sure it will be beautiful.
Totally.
Will there be cool rides? I don't know. I feel like I'm praying to God that the technologies that they use blow my mind the way
Because
that Forbidden Journey did.
They're supposed to have like floating land masses and everything in this,
that'll
right?
be cool. It's gonna be.
Wow,
I think that the beauty of the land will be better than the rides.
Totally.
I don't
and that's
know,
kind of what
though.
Animal Kingdom is about. Besides, they don't really have that many rides there. What do they have?
Well,
there?
they have really
have
good
a
rides.
good-
They have Dinosaur, which is like Indiana Jones.
Expedition
Everest is really
Expedition
good.
Everest.
What's the river
That's-
raft
that
ride,
seems
too?
like the
They have a
highlight.
river
Oh yeah,
rafting ride.
the Kali River Rapids.
Kali River
I think.
Rapids, yeah.
And they have It's Tough to Be a Bug. They have some good stuff there.
They even have the expedition, like we go out on the plains.
Oh, the Kilimanjaro
The Kilimanjaro
Safaris, yeah.
Oh
Safari.
yeah, that's what that park is all
Yeah,
about.
Yeah,
pretty much.
that seems cool. I've never been to Walt
the
Disney
Tree
World,
of
by the way.
Life.
Okay.
We're going for our honeymoon.
Oh,
nice.
beautiful.
So
nice.
we're doing that.
That's going to be an excellent honeymoon.
I'm so excited.
Oh, are you going to all the parks? I'm assuming.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm going in October. Yay!
I'm jealous.
So
jealous.
Periscope with me.
We'll be following totally.
So Avatar was the response to Wizarding World of Harry Potter. I never got excited because, frankly, I don't like the Avatar movies.
Neither do I. I actually hate
Yeah,
them.
I don't.
Am
like
I the odd
them.
one out here? I thought it was actually pretty good.
I fell
movie.
asleep at the IMAX theater.
I'm
I
not
was like,
saying
this is
that
boring.
I'm not saying
Wow.
the movies aren't like badly written or they
No, they're
are
just
bad.
not
They
my
are
cup
badly
of
written.
tea.
They're not my cup of tea, and then also I'm not interested in looking at something that really looks like a video game. I feel like the way
Yeah.
they made it didn't look that great.
It's basically like a futuristic Pocahontas, though. I mean,
Yeah,
it's the same
and
story.
I think that's stupid.
I like that. I
that's
like
stupid.
Pocahontas
Well,
too.
we can go into the whole debate of how there were like only really 7
This
stories.
is going
and
to
we
turn
just keep
into a
telling
2-hour episode
But
now.
whatever. That's what happens when I was on 91 Reasons. I think it was 2 hours. We talked about Jurassic World. So sorry, I talk a lot. But
We like it. We
stuff.
like it. It's all good.
So listen, Avatar was the response. I don't think it ever got the attention from the public that Disney wanted it to. And I feel like Star Wars Land, or whatever they're going to end up calling it, is like the real response.
Totally.
And I think that it's going...
They
Star
have to
Wars...
step it up with this.
Yeah, this is going to be incredible. I'd be shocked. They know that it has to be.
Yeah.
They know it has to be.
See, and I know that before the show I mentioned to you, I said, I'm going to kind of withhold excitement about it because I'm really, really nervous that it's going to be another DCA, although they probably learned a lesson from that situation because that must have been a much bigger slap in the face than losing Harry Potter because that park was terrible when it opened.
I think that the people that were involved with that are gone. So I don't think
because of it.
I mean, I actually really like Michael Eisner, so I'm one of like the few who. But
No, I think he did a lot. He saved the company. He saved it.
he put them on Broadway, and that's a whole other show. I really do like Michael Eisner. Toward the end, I think that there were some mistakes, and they definitely built several theme parks that were all about let's make this as cheap as we can. And DCA, I think, was the biggest offender of that. But where are we going with this?
Star Wars.
We're talking about
So
Star Wars being
like,
the response, the real response.
They're not going to make the same mistake. They can't.
way. No.
They cannot.
They can't afford to.
After what happened with Harry Potter, they had to match that.
And Star Wars, I think, is a more exciting. I'm actually
There's a
not a
way
Harry
bigger
Potter
following.
fan. I don't
Yeah.
care for the books. I don't care for the movies all that much. I love the theme park. Love it.
And the cult following behind Star Wars is more
Massive.
intense than any other pop culture thing that could.
Because it spans so many years.
Yeah.
From the 70s to now. There's been new products from then till now.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. And kids who didn't grow up with the original trilogy grew up with the new trilogy.
Yeah.
Which
sorry,
sucks
kids.
to us. But kids growing up with it loved it. And so there's going to be... I'm actually really surprised that they went with Avatar instead of something a lot more vast like Star Wars. There's so much more to do with a property like Star Wars than there is with Avatar.
The one thing I will say about Avatar is it makes a lot of sense to put it in Animal Kingdom.
Oh, so
Animal Kingdom
much
needed
sense.
help. Animal Kingdom needed to become a full-day
lacking.
park. And I think that Avatar makes so much sense there. So in that respect, I applaud them for putting that there as opposed to coming up with something completely random and saying, we're putting Cars Land. And, like that'd be like, this is very weird.
Yeah, they needed something natural, beautiful. That's what that park is about
And
the
Joe
beauty of the
Rohde
land.
is heading that, and Joe
Joe
Rohde
Rohde
is
is smart.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Rohde is a genius.
Yeah.
I love listening to that man speak, and I've been lucky enough to have been at several panels with him, and like I've been to Q&As with him, and people ask a question. He literally takes a beat after listening to the question and sits for a moment and like formulates this response. He listens so intently. He's an amazing man.
He's very emphatic about Disney Imagineering. He always seems so excited about it all the time.
And he was the head guy for Aulani, which I'm obsessed with.
Have you been there?
Yes.
Was it good?
It's amazing.
It's his favorite place in the whole world.
It's
I've heard
really-
him go on rants about this.
I really, I'm not a relaxer at all. Like, I'm a go.
Schedule.
Aulani put me at such ease, and it's so beautiful. I love Aulani, and it's Joe Rohde's, baby. So I really like Joe Rohde.
Yeah. So I'm back to Star Wars Land. This is
you guys
want to
go over
tangents.
Yeah, you guys want to go over each and every Disney cruise now? Let's do that. I love that water
So
coaster.
to answer your question, the vibe
Star
in the room
Wars
was crazy.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's where we started from. We started from the vibe, and then we end on Joe Rohde. Thank you, Jeff.
What happened was it was the live action panel, and Han Solo, Harrison Ford was just on stage with a bunch of the cast from the new film. Bob Iger comes out and kicks them all off stage.
What the heck?
It was crazy because he's like, okay, we have an announcement. Everybody leave, essentially. And so it was just him on stage. And he announced Star Wars Land, and the room went nuts. Now, it was very strange because 3 hours later, the Parks panel was starting. So this is where we expect to hear about that.
People were in line getting the info.
Yes, I almost skipped the live action panel because I was scared that the line for Parks and Resorts would get too full. And so I almost skipped it to just wait in line for Parks and Resorts.
Which is what a lot of people did. They heard about this like we did over social media.
I would be so angry if I had done that. And luckily, Patrick convinced me. He's like, Jeff, because I was there at like 5:30 a.m. to get in line for like the 10:30 a.m. live action or whatever it
Oh
was.
my god!
Dedicate. You
You were in
were
line for almost 6 hours.
Yeah, I think it was 10:30 that started. Maybe it was 10. Yeah, we showed up really early every morning. D23 Expo is exhausting.
to.
It's exhausting.
I went the second year and it was not that bad. It must have gotten really bad. Over
Yeah,
2
I've gone
years.
every year, every day, and it's every year it gets more intense.
Oh my god!
But
that doesn't sound
well, now it was about almost 8,000 seats. The big panels were not in the arena this year because the arena was too small. So they literally had to curtain off areas that were normally show floor and just put all folding seats out. It was almost 8,000 seats. I believe bigger than any Comic-Con room.
Wow, bigger than Hall H probably.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So massive. And so, anyways, he made the announcement, and it was just shocking and kind of like, well, what the heck are we going to talk about at Parks and Resorts? And to be fair, Parks and Resorts was kind of disappointing because of it. But it was a great announcement, and the fantastic to hear it's both coasts. My biggest disappointment, I think, what an opportunity to create two different Star Wars planets.
Right?
Obviously, it's cheaper to just do a copycat thing, but how great would it have been if we were getting one planet at Disneyland and another at
You
Walt
gotta,
least
visit
something.
both parks now to experience both lands. You
That
gotta go to
seems
both.
strange that they chose to do
And they're
that.
connected by a spaceship, similar to a train. And
Virgin Galactic has been hired to ship you from one to the
they're
other.
connected by Star Tours or the Millennium Falcon.
I will tell you, if they create it so you enter Star Tours in Tomorrowland and you exit at Star Wars Land, that would be the coolest thing.
That would be pretty
ever.
cool.
My head would explode.
Let
That
me
might
tell
work
you,
out,
dude.
wouldn't it? At least at Hollywood Studios.
Dude, the vehicle. No. Just think of this, and this is completely insane. But imagine if you enter Star Tours in Tomorrowland at Disneyland, and the vehicle ends up going underground and like
Going
shooting you
over
over to
there.
Star Wars Land, and you exit there.
That would be
Oh
insanity.
my god, that would be amazing.
But even on that topic, I'm curious. They have the Star Tours ride in Tomorrowland. Do
Yeah.
you think they're gonna pick it up and move it?
No.
Here's my initial thought. First of all, we're still like 5 years out from Star Wars
way
Land, at
far
least.
away.
So,
They said that they weren't even going to start construction
till
until
2017.
2017, so it could be even
They've
longer.
already kind of like started closing down the Big Thunder Ranch area. Like the Halloween stuff isn't happening there this year.
Oh.
So I'm sure there's prep stuff going on as we speak. But what was the question? I'm sorry.
I said they're doing they have Star Tours in Tomorrowland, but
Oh yeah,
are they
Star
gonna do
Tours.
it?
Yeah, my initial reaction was that's the end of Star Tours.
Really?
That was my initial reaction. I don't
such
think
an
so
iconic
anymore.
ride, though.
It is.
And they just redid it.
Yeah.
they
They
just
ju-
redid
by
dumped a bunch
just
of
redid
money.
it, you mean 2011? It's
Yeah.
actually been
It
4
seems
years.
pretty new
But
still.
they are updating it, and there's going to be stuff from Force Awakens. They're adding a new planet to Star Tours.
Oh, cool.
So
Because it has, 5 endings right
I
now?
believe
Something like
it's
that? So it's going to be
5.
7 or something?
yeah, so they're adding more, and they
Always better.
Yeah, more is better. So the fact that they keep plussing that makes me think, okay, maybe they're not getting rid of it. I do think it's weird to have Star Tours and then a Star Wars land,
Yeah.
but they're also doing this Season of the Force thing, which will take place in Tomorrowland with Hyperspace Mountain, which I couldn't be more excited about.
I am
sounds
pumped
so
for that. I'm glad
cool.
that Space Mountain's getting another overlay.
Yeah.
Other than
Finally. It's been a
Ghost
while since they did
Galaxies.
that.
As much as I like Ghost Galaxies,
I love Ghost
I want
Galaxy.
something new. I
Yeah.
want something new.
It's fantastic. So
Put Red Hot Chili Peppers back in there.
no.
Yeah, let's put Red Hot
so
Chili
cool.
Peppers back in
That
there.
was-
I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was
I
so
hated
cool.
it for the reason
That's
that
my favorite band,
they
so.
only did that once, right?
They did it once.
Yeah.
And on California Screaming.
What was it part of? Was it part of like Summer Night-tastic or something?
I don't remember, but it was the one time that they did it.
Yeah, I didn't like it for the simple reason that they put like disco lighting in there, and the appeal of Space Mountain is that you can't see anything, and if you really see that track, it's lame.
Yeah.
So it was just too bright, in my
Although,
opinion.
as the coaster fanatic, I did look up those videos of, Space Mountain with the lights on.
Well, of
I don't know
course.
if anyone else has seen that.
I liked it because it's my favorite band. So hearing my favorite band play a song on one of my favorite rides.
That was actually a great.
You're gonna
I thought that
die.
was a great mix. It surprisingly worked well together.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Tangent.
yeah, total tangent.
Well, Star Wars Land.
So
I think Star Tours is safe.
Yeah, I don't think it's going
I think there's still
anywhere.
going to be a lot of Star Wars stuff going on in Tomorrowland. Maybe through the years it'll become less and less. But look, Star Tours has been there since 1987. Eventually, it's going to have to be retired. So I think that obviously at Walt Disney World, at the Hollywood Studios or whatever the new name is going to be, I'm assuming Star Wars Land will be like attached to the land where
It seems like it's going to go
Star
right
Tours
next
is.
to where it
so
is.
that makes more sense there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
So this one's going to be an actual, entirely new planet.
Yeah,
that we've
which
never
is
seen
brilliant.
before. Yeah.
that's smart because then you
No
don't have
comparisons.
Yeah,
There you go.
Zero comparisons. The dorks aren't going to be there saying this isn't correct type of metal made
Exactly.
for this building.
And which would
beautiful.
happen. And they do call it like the Mos Eisley Cantina and stuff, which I'm hoping the official name will be something different because we're not going to be in Mos Eisley. So I'm sure it's not going to be called Star Wars Land. These are names we're just giving it right now.
Yeah.
So
It's going to be the
Generalizations.
Ben Kenobi bar and
Yeah.
grill. The Ben Kenobi bar and grill, or what?
Sports pub.
What are those big animals called that they sliced open and they went
Oh,
inside
yeah,
of them?
yeah. Ooh,
The
gross.
Tauntaun bar and grill.
yeah. Where you can eat their guts. Gross.
So Star Wars Land is going to be pretty big. It's 14 acres.
14 acres.
And it's actually going to be the largest single land expansion in Disneyland history.
Because the
Ever.
last one
That's
was what?
insanity.
Cars Land over at California Adventure.
Well, if you're thinking about Disneyland by itself, just Disneyland, not California Adventure, I believe either the last expansion, last edition of a land is either Toontown or changing it to Critter Country, correct?
Yeah,
Those are the last two that were
It's been a
changed
while.
slash
It's been a
attached.
long time.
But
It's
been a
Toontown
long time coming,
Toontown is
too.
really the addition.
Well, Disneyland needs new rides. Like,
Yes.
if everything that's been done has been like plussing stuff, and that's great.
People
and
still
all.
pay for it.
Yeah, but they need new rides. Now, I did read this is a Star Wars tangent, so it'll make sense. But themeparkadventure.com had a great article about Star Wars Land, and one of the things that was brought up, and I think is a really, 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 really good point, is the fact that there is the danger of people getting to know Disneyland as the Star Wars theme park. The way that
Totally.
people do not call Universal Studios Islands of Adventure,
Harry
Islands of
Potter
Adventure.
theme
They
park.
call it the Harry Potter Park. And now, to be fair, Universal did that to themselves through marketing. When you visited UniversalOrlando.com, like when the whole Harry Potter thing first opened, it was all Harry Potter. And when they first announced it, they announced it like it was going to be a separate theme park. So they definitely did things to make that happen.
Yeah. It seems to be working for them, too, because they're still hitting record numbers.
But can you imagine Disneyland not being known as Disneyland?
True.
That's a huge problem.
That could
That's
never
Walt's
happen,
original.
though.
It could happen.
You think? Because Disneyland has such a following, whereas Islands of Adventure does not. I mean,
it could have happened with Pixar just as easily, because when Pixar started blowing up, you saw Pixar everything in there.
There was a rumor that
Tomorrowland was just going to be Pixar Land, essentially.
There was a rumor that Disney California Adventure was actually going to get its name changed to Pixar Park.
What?
Holy crap.
This was years ago, but I'd heard that for a long time.
Wow.
Because there was a lot of Pixar stuff going in there.
A lot of Pixar stuff.
But
I think that is a concern that Disneyland will be known as a Star Wars themed place now.
I mean, it is the place to go for it. Yeah.
I think that they will be smart enough to make their marketing not as one thing as Universal did, as Islands of Adventure did. But I think it's a danger that could possibly happen.
It's a fine line.
Yeah, totally.
It's an extremely fine line to walk when you have such a large brand that covers such a vast amount of properties, and then you completely just saturate the market with one property. People are immediately and inevitably just going to think about that one property.
Plus, this is a IP that's being placed on one whole land, which besides Cars Land, they didn't really have that in Disney at all.
In
Disneyland Resort
they did not.
There's no IP land, which this is the first.
Oh yeah, you're right. This is the first IP land at Disneyland. I never really even thought about that.
It's going to be
at all.
It's going to be a whole nother ballgame for them, and I think they're going to be taking it with a new set of plans, a new course of action, because it's going to be so immersive. Everything's going to be Star Wars.
I feel like they probably
immersive, folks. Take a drink.
Take a drink.
Immersive and interactive.
Yeah.
Damn it, we finished our extended brews.
Darn it, fake
Darn.
plug.
Click.
I what was it? You got me off on it. I don't know where I was.
The reality is, I actually think Star Wars Land would fit better in Disney California Adventure. Obviously, as I said, I think Disneyland needs a brand new attraction, and this is the one they decided to work on, so it's going to Disneyland. Nothing's going to change that. That's fine. I just think it's they just have to be careful.
True.
I agree with you. I think Disneyland definitely needs new attractions. I don't know how much I agree on the side of not being in Disneyland. I guess it's weird because Disneyland can cover so many different variety of topics and brands. So sometimes it doesn't feel like something belongs there, but technically it can work, and it's just it's different. You know, it's weird.
They're going to take 5 years to complete this, right?
At least
a long time.
Harry Potter was done in 2 years, which is surprising. So they're going to be taking an extra 3 years to do this. Granted, Harry Potter, they worked 24/7 for 2 years. Did you know that? Night and day to build that. That's why it came out so quick. But
Universal always builds a lot faster than Disney.
A lot quicker. They just
faster.
have the money to do that, I guess. Even though Disney's going to be dumping $1 billion.
I don't think it's not a money thing. It's I don't know what it is.
It's probably it's a competition thing, probably.
I'm wondering why they would wait 5 years when Harry Potter took 2. And
well, Disney is notorious for, not only with theme park stuff, but with movies and everything, being like, this isn't working. We're throwing it all away and starting from scratch. And I love that about them. For instance, and this is a weird...
They're not scared of changing things.
No, they're not. Whereas most companies, I think, would say, well, we already put the money toward this. We're going to just move forward. A weird example of this is when they were decorating for the 60th anniversary, they were at one point like these really ugly giant diamond domes.
Oh my God.
On the castle.
Oh my God. I totally know what you're talking about, because me and Nikki were like, what happened to those gigantic domes?
They got rid of them because they looked terrible. And I feel like most companies would have just been like, well, we paid for it. They're already built. They're staying here for the 18-month celebration or whatever. Whereas Disney was like, guess what? We're throwing it away because it looks like crap. So I commend them for that. I do wish things were built faster, though.
Yeah, I think I'd rather... slow and steady wins the race rather than quick and fast.
Yeah.
Although it seemed to have worked for Universal.
In 2 years. They did a fantastic.
And I honestly
I don't even believe that was 2 years, because let's face it, that was in the conceptual state for a lot longer. Or maybe from the moment they broke ground to when they opened, it was 2 years. But you got to remember, it also was only that Hogsmeade area, and a couple years later, Diagon Alley opened. So it's that whole. I don't like it when things open in small portions.
Just give me everything at once. Give me everything at once.
Give me everything at once. Obviously, things need to grow, but I don't know. Like when Disney MGM Studios opened, there was like nothing there, and I'm like,
true.
You guys
it was
know,
kind
but
of
that was a
land.
race just to beat Universal Orlando because they knew that Universal Orlando was opening down the street, and they said you're opening in 1990. Guess what? We're in '89. So and like they
Boom.
like that was
It's always been a competition.
yeah. So because it was the same thing. It was a movie studio park.
Oh. Okay.
You know what? There's one thing that I'm actually interested about because this is like the first time that Disney, at least, sorry, back to Star Wars Land, talking about this.
Yeah.
That they're not gonna have cast members.
I love this.
They're only Star Wars aliens. Now, does that mean everybody's gonna get prosthetics? What does that mean? I have no clue.
I think that when it comes to they're creating a new planet, so we don't know what these creatures are going to look like. So these creatures could look very human. Plus, you got to remember there are human-like characters in Star Wars.
There's plenty of humanoids in the Star Wars film.
I think there will be aliens as well.
I will guarantee you 100% that when this park opens, or at least this part of the park opens, there will be aliens that will scare the living S out of kids.
Yeah.
And then they will never be seen again because kids are going to be so scared of them.
No
Possibly.
way.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Possibly.
just like people, little
Get your
kids
fill now
can't
at the beginning when it
separate
opens.
between real and fake, and when they see an alien, they're going to inevitably probably get a little scared.
And these are going to be realistic. They really are following that. And it's going to have aliens, humanoids, and droids. So they're not just going to have, scary aliens. They'll have everything.
The droids will be fun. I always like when I can get a picture with a character that looks exactly like it does in the movie. So when you meet R2-D2, it's R2-D2.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
going to be great.
I love that. When you meet Kermit the Frog and he's like Puppet Kermit versus Big Fuzzy Kermit, I'm like, no, give me Puppet Kermit.
Yeah.
Like, this is Kermit the Frog.
Kermit's not big; he's small.
Yeah. So, and they did have the Fuzzy Kermits for a while. So,
And one cool thing is, and it seems like they're kind of. I hate this because immediately when I think of this, because I'm thinking they're competing with Universal, I immediately think, oh, they have that at Universal at Harry Potter. Like this is what's inevitably going to happen is the comparison between the two, and because they're saying that not only are people going to be walking around, but they're also going to have puppeted characters as well as animatronic characters. And to me, I immediately think about
they might even have them in the shops.
What's the new Gringotts? Where they have the bank accountants who are animatronics talking to people. Some people are puppets and crazy stuff like that.
It's been implemented at other parks, and they're even going to plan on having them in the shops, I'm assuming. Big
that's
animatronic
exactly what it's gonna be.
shopkeepers.
look, the reality is, up until now, Disney always set the way, and everybody copied them.
Yeah.
This is the first time I can really think of
That they had to step up
competitor
Overstep them.
Yeah, and the Disney's following their trend.
Which is good. They understand that that's happened and that they're following what other people did.
Competition
they have to
is
step it up.
healthy.
It is.
It is healthy, but at the same time, copying the competition doesn't necessarily.
Look, they're not
work.
copying.
No
they're not
way.
making a Harry Potter park. They're making a Star Wars.
What are you talking about? That looks like Harry Potter to me right
No,
there. That
that's-
looks like a broomstick.
That's Star Wars.
Oh, that's sorry, guys. That's Millennium Falcon. They
We're
kinda look
looking at
similar.
some of the concept art here. It's,
We have it in front of our faces. It's
to keep it fresh.
Yeah, keep it fresh. Gives us a little bit of a help talking about it. Gives us inspirations.
so you guys were saying that they needed new rides. They're putting 2 new rides in at both parks. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yeah, and the one's going to be
Same
like
rides.
a Millennium Falcon ride, right?
Yeah, you're going to fly the Millennium Falcon, which will be pretty cool. So most likely a simulator.
Yeah.
Which seems to be what we do these days.
Yeah, it seems to be the
I'm
easiest,
actually-
smallest.
I'm actually really not a fan of simulators.
No,
anymore.
but they're just
'Cause
so
they're
easy to plop in.
overdone.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna say I'm not a fan of them. I do like them. It's just like, can we have something new? That's I want something brand new. That's what I always
Yeah.
want, which is why I loved Forbidden Journey, because that mechanical arm and stuff. I was like, I've never
So
experienced this
crazy.
before. This is insane. So that's what I always want. I don't know if we're gonna get it. We'll see.
Because I always see new, exciting technologies being used in other Disney parks.
Such as
What's the shoot? It's Mystic
Oh,
Manor.
Mystic Manor, yeah.
Mystic Manor. Like that's an exciting new piece of technology that I've not seen before.
kind of. I mean, it has the trackless vehicle,
Trackless.
which one of the Winnie the Poohs have that as well. But
Really? It's trackless?
yeah, it's trackless. It's all like
it's all
magnetics.
magnetics
Yeah,
and lasers
which
and
frankly
stuff.
should have been done a long time ago.
It makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
They have some nice special effects.
Yeah, the
and-
special effects in there blow my mind, and that's just from YouTube.
Yeah,
That's just from YouTube.
yeah. So
And I wish that
At the
things
new-
like that would come to our coast a little
Yeah,
bit.
we need it over here. They have the new technology over at Disney Shanghai that they're going to be implementing, which is going to be a step up, especially with the Tron coaster, the lit up cars. And
What technology are you talking about?
well, they're gonna the whole design for that is something that they've never done before.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
Pony Express.
Yeah, it's Pony Express, but it's by a different company.
It's Pony Express,
more
but ponies that are on fire.
Yeah, I do think. I mean, the
lit.
overseas parks, I think, spend more money. They go crazy. So
They do.
Especially when
kinda go
they're
crazy.
it's the only place that you can get that Disney feel. They're
Yeah.
gonna put a lot of money into that.
yeah.
And this Millennium Falcon ride, like you said, is probably going to be a motion simulator ride.
Yeah, they really haven't given any details. They've given brief story.
All
points.
they've said is that you're going to take control of the Millennium Falcon with customized secret missions. And
So we're going to take control, so it's going to be interactive.
interactive, take a drink. It's I don't know. It's lots of thoughts. Lots of thoughts. Mission Space at
Oh, goodness.
Mission Space.
Yes.
Is that ride?
Terrifying, yes.
No, but is that ride? Do you actually control it?
You have
Do
to
you
hit
actually
buttons.
do
Listen,
things,
I did
or do
it
you just
once.
press buttons.
You press buttons. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's not going to be
It's-
something like that where you're in control, but it's not really in control.
Probably.
It's like preset things that only happen when you press a button.
I mean, the whole pick your own adventure thing has been around for a while.
Yeah.
Epcot always had something like that, where it's like,
Yeah.
where do you want to go, the sea or space? And you hit one or the other. So it might be something like that, where you get multiple.
It's kind of like
choices.
like what Star Tours did. They have the 5 customized
Yeah,
ones.
but
Do you
we
think
don't
it's gonna
choose
be-
that.
But you don't
We
get
don't
to choose
it.
it.
So do you
We're-
think that each individual ride is going to be different than
Possibly.
Say, really? So
Possibly.
even if like you and I did the same exact path, it still could be different. You think?
I mean, it depends on what the ride vehicles are like. If we're in the same ride vehicle sitting next to each other, then we have to choose as a group.
Okay.
I doubt it's going to be individual choices. But like I said, like at Epcot, I can't remember exactly what attraction, but I can remember being in a ride vehicle like a dune buggy type thing, and having something on the screen saying, "Where do you want to go? The ocean or space?" And this is like, I think it was pre-Spaceship Earth. I can't remember though. Not pre-Spaceship, the new Spaceship Earth, I should say. But in any case, it's been around. It's
Yeah.
not like brand spanking new. But on the Millennium Falcon, that would be cool. Which
Yeah.
planet do you want to go to?
Yeah, it's custom. You can ride it
fine
10
with that.
times and never have the same experience. I think
Yeah.
that's what
Or
keeps
at
an
least a
attraction
mixture of
fresh.
experiences.
Yeah.
Keeps people coming back to retry it is the fact that it's so customizable, so unique every time you ride it.
Yeah.
What about this new one, New Era Battle?
So I think that
This
may
sounds
just,
more
that,
unique.
That just sounds unique, and I think that's
What
maybe
is
a
it
working.
even?
That sounds like a working title because New Era Battle sounds like a really, really crappy name.
It does.
And
But what is it even?
It's everyone's thinking that it's going to be more along the lines of like a dark ride experience.
Okay.
But it also has like a specific timeline, so you're going to be thrown into the middle of a battle between the First Order and the Resistance, and it's going to be post Return of the Jedi timeline. So it's going to be
Okay.
a little interesting, and I mean they basically didn't really say much about it.
I would
all.
not be surprised if this brings Mystic Manor technology to us.
That would make sense
Really?
to me. That makes sense to me.
Huh.
If you're in the middle of a battle, do you think they're going to make it a interactive experience where you're shooting things, or is it just going to be like, oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
we're in the middle of a battle, don't shoot me?
I think
got
it's
it.
the 21st century, so I absolutely think we're going to be shooting something.
Yeah. If it's a dark ride and it doesn't have a gun, it's not a dark ride in these days.
Apparently. Yeah, so this is honestly the only information we got, and at this point we can
all
only
speculation at
speculate about what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, if it brings Mystic Manor technology... Sorry, I hit the box. I apologize. Sorry. If it brings Mystic Manor technology into the park, I mean, I think that's fantastic. I want to see something that's going to blow my mind.
Yeah,
I
we
want
wanna see
something
some new technology.
to go above my expectations, because a lot of the time when I go on new Disney attractions, I never really go in with expecting to get my mind blown. I always go in now with a little bit of a lowered expectation. I don't know why I feel that. Well, like I have to, but I go in. I want to expect something amazing, but I leave saying, "Okay, that was cool."
Yeah.
Never. Oh my god, I need to go on this again, and I'm dying for Star Wars Land to bring that back.
I think if anything's going to do it, I think Star Wars Land is.
Absolutely.
And if it doesn't, I think they're screwed.
This is
Like screwed in what way?
They're putting a
And-
lot of eggs in this basket.
I think that then Wizarding World won if this doesn't do it, and I think that that's a major that's a huge problem for Disney.
That's why I think that this is going to be a step above. They won't allow that to happen.
No.
Disney is not known to underwhelm any sort of audience. So
But
if they were to take this to the next level, it's going to be mind blowing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if theoretically, if they were to quote air quotes lose to Wizarding World Harry Potter, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I think in the long run, it could be a good thing because it really makes them go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what did we do wrong? What can we improve on? What can we do next time that's really going to go step above our competition? Because we got beat up bad. We got beat up like Rocky did in the first Rocky movie. That's what, right. I think that's going to make them think about things differently from different angles.
I think that question has already been answered, and the answer is Star Wars Land.
Yeah.
So if the answer doesn't work, I think that's a huge problem.
Yeah. But again, they're Disney. They're gonna outdo what.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a fair answer, in my opinion. Just saying they're Disney, they're gonna do this. That's not an answer.
I think I think Wizarding World of Harry Potter is fantastic. So I don't think it's going to beat it. I think what it's going to come down to is, are you a bigger Star Wars fan or a bigger Harry Potter fan?
And that's where it really comes down to, because there is a huge following for Star Wars.
Both,
I think even if they underdid it, the following for Star Wars is going to be so overwhelming for them.
Yeah, but those are very vocal fans.
True.
And if they don't like it, woo!
True, but do you look at Force Friday and how everyone lined up to spend money like crazy just because it was Star Wars memorabilia?
Yeah, I think that works for a while. I think
the appeal of the theme.
But don't you think that Star Wars would last longer than Harry Potter?
Harry Potter, I honestly think it's like our generation's Wizard of Oz. I don't think Harry Potter's ever going away.
Yeah, and it's in the books. The books are always going to be there for everyone to read. It's not just the movies. Although a lot of people know it for the movies, I think the books will last a lot longer than the movies do.
Well, now with the land there, too, it better stick around because they just dumped so much money into that.
Harry Potter's not going anywhere.
No way.
The new kids who go to Harry Potter Land or Wizarding World of Harry Potter are going to experience that for the first time, not know what Harry Potter is, and then immediately go, oh my god, what is this? And then find out and go watch the movies, read the books, and then it's going to start all over again. It's a cycle.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that's exactly what happened with Star Wars Land, or rather Star Wars in general. People are like, oh my god, what is this?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I know Warner Brothers is coming out with like a new Harry Potter movie in that world.
The beasts and whatever magical crap.
Yeah,
but keep it going.
But the reality is that Disney is not stopping at all. We have literally a new Star Wars movie every single year for the next 5-6 years or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a lot of, and there's offshoots, like single movies based on one character.
So every single year there's something.
So it's not going to slow.
It's not going to slow down at all.
It's a plan. It's a major plan, including Star Wars Land, to really remarket it every time, because when that movie comes out, they're like, hey, we got those characters here, come see them. Oh, we have a new land in Star Tours, come ride that now, just like the movie.
What could possibly happen is, my favorite word, overexposure. I can't stand overexposure. Like, I really love anticipation. To me, the anticipated buildup is so much fun and exciting to me. So I actually am scared about the whole Star Wars movie every year thing. I used to love, you see a Star Wars movie, you know in 3 years you're going to get the next chapter. Like, those 3 years were awesome. But now it's just like, nope, you're going to get one next year. I love that the D23 Expo is every 2 years. I
actually really enjoy that.
And it builds up the anticipation.
I love anticipation. I love it.
Leave them wanting more, right?
So my fear, but it's Star Wars. It's one of those things that, I love it when people complain about the new trilogy, because I'm like, did you pay to see it in movie theaters? Yeah. Did you buy the DVD? Yeah. Okay. Well, then what are you complaining about?
Yeah, right. It seems like everyone complained about that so much, but then this set of movies, everyone's really, really excited for.
Yeah.
Which kind of, it's strange. People are putting a lot more faith into this. I guess it's because it's J.J. Abrams.
People lost their faith in George Lucas, and it makes me sad. And I understand where like some of the frustration comes from, but I love that man. I went to the Legends panel at the D23 Expo just to see that man.
You were in the same room as him. I'm so jealous.
Honestly, I
love that man.
Like, I think he's done so much, and I don't think that the new trilogy takes away any credibility from the old trilogy at all. 100%. Like, that stands on its own, and every other movie he's worked on except for Howard the Duck.
Hey, I know a lot of people who like Howard the Duck, but
yeah, that's true. American Graffiti, that's another great one, and that's not futuristic.
We're calling you out, Jeff Tucker. Howard the Duck.
Next movie review.
But no, he loves Howard the Duck.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, he loves Leah Thompson. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's a Back to the Future freak, and he loves Leah Thompson. That makes sense.
Where's it going? I forget.
We got distracted by Howard the Duck.
It's okay. We were talking about the
I love George Lucas. He actually made
legitimacy of him.
He made me cry a little. Actually, let me just say, if you're one of those people out there who do not think that George Lucas deserved a Legend Award, I'm calling you out, Rick West. I highly, highly, highly suggest checking out a podcast called Zippity Doo Pod. And it's this guy, Aaron Wallace, who does it, aaronwallaceonline.com. And he does a whole episode defending why George Lucas deserves that award. And I completely 100% agree with him.
Wow.
Across the board. It's a fantastic episode, Zippity Doo Pod.
Yeah, we could talk about that for hours and hours, I'm sure. There's so much behind it.
He does.
You go check out that podcast. I mean, I'm going to go listen to it now because
It's really, really
now I'm
good.
really interested because now I want to talk about it. Talk about because I agree with you. I think that he does deserve it.
Absolutely.
After hearing all of what he's done for the company and what he's done for the parks and his inspiration for a lot of what he does is from Disney, I think he deserves it. I mean, that's just the short, abridged version of what I think.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. I think the legitimacy of George Lucas stands.
I think he's an amazing human. Like, aside from whatever he created. Like, the guy sold his company for $4 billion and then gave it all to charity.
That's what he was doing
He
for
gave it
years.
all to
He gave
charity?
it all to charity.
He gave away like 90% of his income, didn't he?
I literally cried when I read that. I was like,
Didn't he
that
keep
is
like
amazing.
at least a little bit to survive?
He's got plenty of money.
He's not by any means
just gave
poor
me
or needing a handout.
This look, he's like, he hasn't.
And that's the thing. But that's how many people wouldn't have done that. How many people would be like, I'm going to go buy a string of islands with this money or whatever. Like, he was like, no, I want it to go toward education. Here's your $4.2 billion. And let's face it, even if he gave away half of that, $2.1 billion, he still would have been an amazing man and kept $2.1 billion. But he's like, no, you can have $4.2 billion.
I always thought it was great that he would give out the rights to anyone that wanted it. He would charge like just a tiny little fee to get the rights for it, but anyone could use it, and he allowed a lot of people to play with his idea.
More than I love Star Wars, I love the man.
Yeah.
Like, I really, really love that guy.
He was definitely not. He's not a selfish person. That's
Not
for
at
sure.
all. Not in any way, shape, or form.
Seems a
Well,
little
he does
weird, but
deserve it.
whatever.
Yeah, who isn't weird,
Yeah,
though?
weird's cool. Awesome.
I'm weird.
Weirdos.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, well, now
We're
you know
all
now.
weird.
We're all weird in our own way. We all live in this weird world.
We sit in a room talking about theme parks. We're weird.
And to a microphone for
We always
people who
joke.
we don't see to listen to.
We always joke that if there weren't a microphone, we'd just be crazy people.
Yeah, I think it was in the first episode that I said that if these microphones weren't here, we'd be out like the homeless guy out in this corner right by my apartment.
Totally.
Who screams in a different language and the only English word he yells is the F word.
Oh, nice.
And I hear him at night and I yell out my window and he's like, who's there?
Oh, that's pretty creepy.
He hasn't been there
actually.
for a while. It's really funny.
I've seen
It's
a lot of
entertaining.
interesting characters walking up and down your street.
Hey, I live in a nice area. It's just, it's LA. It's inevitable.
It's LA.
It's inevitable.
You can't miss it. I mean, if you go to Venice, it's $1 million homes and homeless people in the same place.
Yeah, that's a juxtaposition.
Oh, yeah.
If you ever wanted
Makes
one.
it fun at night, that's for sure.
So we're looking at this map here of the areas that we're going to be taken over by Star Wars Land and Toy Story Land, and I'm just trying to figure out where on that map is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie set adventure, and is that in danger?
So we're looking at two different maps. We're looking at the aerial version. It's literally an aerial picture of Disneyland, and then we're also looking at a animated picture, kind of like off of the map from the studios,
Disney Hollywood
Studios. And there's only two areas. There's two areas that are labeled, and one is Star Wars Land, and the other one looks like it's going to be is that going to be Toy Story? Is that what that's going to be?
Yeah,
well,
Because it's
Pixar.
Pixar, yellow, and it looks like it's to the behind and to the right.
These
or
are
to the
both
left of the
speculations,
big
too.
hat, and then
Yeah,
to the
this
left
is
is
all
Star Wars.
speculation.
This is all speculation.
Nothing's been announced.
But we did have confirmed information about where ours is going. Ours is going where Big Thunder Ranch. Jeff just smirked.
Yes.
What?
We don't know how exactly they're going to implement it yet, but they did state.
I wouldn't say what we've been told is 100% guarantee.
Exactly.
Well, they always change things,
But
too.
Big Thunder
Constantly.
Ranch, definitely it's taking over. The thing that I'm questioning is Toontown.
I
Honestly,
think
that's still questionable.
I think
I've heard
Toontown can. I wouldn't be sad. I would not be sad. The only thing in Toontown
no
that
one
I would
really
slightly
would
be
be.
sad
Roger
about is
Rabbit.
Roger Rabbit because
Roger
I
Rabbit is
love that ride.
But
And
with
out
that
of
little
any
roller
other,
coaster
out of any other ride in Disneyland, that's outside of like Indiana Jones. Its line is phenomenal. I love the line in Roger Rabbit so much. It's an immersive experience.
Oh yeah.
Immersive, take a drink.
Take a drink.
What I would like to see is, I would like Star Wars Land to not touch Toontown.
No.
After Star Wars Land is finished, I would love a new Fantasyland, and I would love for Toontown to become part of that. Like, go
That's
away.
a good idea. You should be an Imagineer.
Oh, thanks. I'll take it. I would love to see new Fantasyland.
That means we'll get
happen.
George Lucas rides.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I would not be surprised if Star Wars Land ends up taking over Toontown. I really wouldn't. But who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, like we've said a billion times over, things are really just in speculation at this point.
We have plenty of years of anticipation.
Things change all the time.
We have plenty of time to speculate and figure out what's going to happen. And things could change.
Our hope now is that we just stay alive until it opens.
Yeah.
That's the
we could
goal.
have it until
Who
2022
knows?
that we have to wait. So,
drive
safe.
I think we may have
Take your vitamins.
talked about it briefly, but are the lands going to be exactly the same?
Yeah.
On both coasts?
I mean,
or is there going to be slight differences here?
Well,
and
there will have to be slight differences because of like the
Layout.
area of land. It's not going to be like a rectangular box.
But
So-
it's the same rides, the
It's
same themes, the same
I know
characters that
one.
are supposed to be showing up.
Which
And it seems like
is
they
disappointing.
Yeah, they missed out an opportunity to at least put at least one ride or one area or one special thing in each park to keep you wanting to go to both.
Yeah, totally. That's a bummer.
Yeah, what a missed opportunity.
So we'll see what happens there, but yeah, it sounds
sure it's
definitely
gonna
the
be
rides are the
amazing.
same. So
And is like the acreage going to be kind of similar
Yeah.
with regards to
14
how big
acres.
both? 14
I keep
acres on
hearing
both parks?
14 acres for Disneyland. I think it's close to that at Walt Disney World.
Do you
Yeah,
think
they
it's a little
have
smaller or
more
a little
land over
bigger?
there.
I think it would be a little smaller.
Really?
I think so, but
Studios is kind of a smaller park.
It's a
and-
small park, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
but-
it's the smallest park.
It
by
is
far.
the smallest of their parks.
And it's
in
the most
Florida.
underwhelming too.
I actually was always a huge fan of Disney MGM Studios as a kid, only because like I was
Tower
a kid.
Terror?
Well, I was
Tower
actually
Terror
I was scared of that for so many years. Didn't do it for a long time.
Better than the one here, apparently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there are things about the one here that I like though. Like that whole mirror thing doesn't exist in Florida.
Oh, really?
But you go to the attic, and let me tell you, whoa! First time doing that, scared to death because you know how like here the vehicle gets pushed back at the beginning and you go
Yeah.
up. Well, in Florida, you just go up.
And then you go forward.
And then you go forward in the attic, and I was like, "What is happening? Like, are we just gonna fall over a ledge?" Like, I was freaking out.
And then you see like all the iconic things from the Twilight
Yeah.
Zone in the attic.
And then this white beam that splits the wall open is like one of the coolest effects. I love it. Yeah, we digress there. But no, I always loved Disney MGM Studios because I was such a movie kid, like a showbiz kid. So, yeah. It's unfortunate what's happened to it, but they'll
Yeah,
fix it. They fixed Disney California Adventure.
Yeah.
They can fix anything.
Absolutely, and if they're going to be putting Star Wars Land, it's going to probably become one of the most popular parks they're going to have out of
I
the
actually am
Florida
sad
ones.
to see the Epic Stunt Spectacular, the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, probably going to be gone.
when is that going to be gone?
Oh, there's been no announcement.
Is that on the
Okay,
backlot
okay.
area that they
I'm-
have up there?
No, it's right as you enter to the left.
I'm freaking out right now because I am the biggest Indiana Jones nerd in the world.
Oh, and you've
Like,
never seen it.
and I've never seen
Oh,
it.
you'll love it.
And I'm hoping to God
It'll be
I
there.
will pray that it's still
When are you
there when we
going?
go. It's going to be May next year.
You should be okay.
I really hope so. If I might actually cry if it's not there.
Okay.
No, they're going to wait.
I would be
That's-
that upset.
Do me a favor. Periscope that if you do.
Periscope me crying
Yes.
about the
Watch the tears fall down
Indiana
Gabe's
Jones.
eyes.
No, I am such a huge fan, and I'm thankful that we have an awesome ride here.
Yeah.
But I want to experience the stunt show. I want to be
great.
there and experience all the things they have that's different than what I haven't experienced. So,
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't want it to be gone. I don't want it to be gone.
You're going to catch it. Don't worry.
Hope so.
You'll be there for it.
So we were talking about acreage. So we said that Star Wars Land is going to be 14 acres to give you
That's huge.
give you like a concept of land. Disney Hollywood Studios is 135 acres big. Disneyland Park is only 85 acres currently, but with the expansion is going to be a lot bigger. Disney's California Adventures Cars Land expansion takes up 12 acres. So
That was their
Star Wars
biggest.
Land's going to be similar to the size, just a little bigger.
A little bigger than Cars Land.
Cars Land.
And wasn't Cars Land the biggest expansion that they ever had at any park?
Yes.
I don't know the answer to that question.
That was a
might be.
huge undertaking for what they did over there.
And
And then this one's going to be
Also,
just a little more.
It's funny, Cars Land doesn't feel that big, but that's because Radiator Springs Racers
takes up so much space.
So much
oh my gosh.
space. It's massive.
So that's the nice thing about simulators. They do take up less space.
Yes.
Way less space. Yes. But I mean, look at how spectacular that ride is. I mean, it's so popular and the line's always long, and it's fun to be immersed in that world without looking at a screen.
Take a drink.
Without looking at a screen. It is. Yeah. It's great.
Totally.
It's true. It's out of this world what they did with all the decorations over there in Cars World.
Yeah.
Cars Land.
Cars Land, dude. What the heck is your problem,
God,
dude?
I just had a heart attack.
I
know.
Both of us scoffed at you.
Gosh,
you know what? So
smack me. Go ahead.
Let's to bookend the conversation on Cars Land. Somebody, I forgot who said it, but it was Jeff Tucker. Jeff Tucker said this. He said. I know so Cars Land is a world of cars, right? So like all the living creatures are cars. Why is everything decorated with the car pieces?
Cannibal decorations.
Cannibal decorations of cars. I told that to my sister, and she was listening to me with like a smile on her face. And as I discussed it, the smile quickly went to like a straight face and was, "Oh my god, oh god."
It's kind of sad.
I thought it was funny. I thought that was I think that's hysterical. In my opinion, I think that's great. But and honestly, now the only thing that's left to really talk about Star Wars Land is the wait. How long do we have to wait for this place to open?
Long time.
Like that's all what we've talked about is all we know, and then the only really hard, firm, confirmed thing is how long we have to wait.
I'm looking really forward to the roaming animatronics.
Yes, that absolutely seems so amazing.
The only roaming animatronic we've ever had is Push. At Disneyland.
Yeah, well,
Push? Is that the trash can?
Push is the trash can that talk to people.
Yeah.
I've witnessed... I actually haven't witnessed Push, but I've witnessed Wall-E. I've witnessed Lucky the Dinosaur. And in person, I haven't seen Bunsen and Beaker, but they're cool. I really like...
They seem really cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
And Push is the baby version of all the other ones that you talked about, because it's literally a trash can with wheels.
Yeah,
but I think we're going to have
a smart aleck on the other end of it.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, I loved it. I've seen him a few times, and he disappeared, and I'm really sad because he was fun to kind of just see walk and roll around.
You see a group of kids falling behind a trash can.
Well, there's a really great story out there where Robin Williams was interacting with Push once, and then the person, he said something, I can't remember exactly what he said, but Robin Williams said something back to Push, and the person controlling said, "Really? An improv genius like you, and that's the best you can come up with?"
I would have died.
I'm sure he freaked out. That's so funny.
He probably thought it was hysterical.
Yeah.
That man
he probably gave that trash can a hug after that.
He probably went backstage, found the person who recorded it, was like, "That was awesome."
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't put it past him to have done that.
It's funny.
But so Cars Land, for how long we have to wait for construction? I know that they're not going to start construction until 2018, 2017?
2017.
2017. Cars Land took about 5 years from announcing to opening.
Mm-hmm.
That's how long that took. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's how long it takes. I mean, I know
they don't want to rush it.
Wizarding World taking 2 years, but
they probably want it for part of the 65th anniversary, is my guess, which will be 2020. So.
Do you think they'll celebrate really big for the 65th? Because it seems like they're mostly doing
if Star Wars Land is opening,
absolutely.
Yes. Because it seems like they're doing it every 10 years is really the big celebrations.
Yeah. If Star Wars Land opens, I think it'll be a big celebration.
It's all about marketing.
I think they're going to just have a Star Wars celebration. 65 years is going to be the year of Star Wars.
Well, the 40th was the year that Indiana Jones Adventure opened. They actually had Indiana Jones zip line from the top of the Matterhorn,
so cool,
past the castle, in a very similar fashion that Tinkerbell flies.
Oh, you mean like this with his arms straight out, like Superman?
No, not like that. Meaning it just his zip line path was similar to Tinkerbell's flight path, if you get what I'm saying.
When the new Indiana Jones movie came out, I loved how Disneyland had all the Indiana Jones experiences going on, and they had a whole fight that took place. It ran from the bazaar around the tree up into Tarzan's tree house, and they played the music, and he was beating people up on the bridge. Oh God, I just got really excited thinking about that.
It's too bad that you're such an Indiana Jones fan. You didn't go to the 20th anniversary Indiana Jones annual pass holder.
I did not get to go to that, but I do have
that was cool.
The pamphlet and the card and everything that they gave to you. I do have that.
I had the card from the first year the ride opened.
I have that as well.
Got rid of it originally.
Oh, how could you?
I know, so stupid. And then I got the reproduction of it at the 20th anniversary thing.
Yeah, I have the 20th anniversary production, and then I also have the original one.
Yeah.
Thank you, eBay.
Hieroglyphics, yay!
Yeah,
I loved it when I was a kid.
Don't they call them Maraglyphics?
It's Mara font. or something. I don't know. But when I was a kid, I took pictures of all of them, and I went home and I decoded them.
Wow, what a nerd!
I was a big nerd, big nerd. And this was before I knew that
you
other
are
people who were the same way as me, but maybe not as big as at that time. But there's other people out there who were just as interested in finding out what those words said that I did.
It's crazy how many people want to talk about this, isn't there?
Do you remember what it says above the water fountains?
I honestly don't remember anything. I did this when I was like 10.
It's above the water fountains. I don't know the exact wording, but it's something like, choose wisely. One will give you
forever youth.
And the other one will kill you.
That's awesome.
So there's 2 water fountains, and you have to choose which one.
Most of the wording in that ride is always akin to beware the Ayamara.
Yeah.
That's pretty much everything that.
And some of them I remember said exit.
There's like 1 or 2 that say exit. Yeah. Exit in a certain direction. Maybe that way.
Anywho, we're going on forever here.
Yes. Longest episode to date, I think.
I think that is probably the longest episode. There are a few things I may want to edit out. I don't know.
No, leave it in.
Leave it in for the fun.
Leave
it in for the fun. Okay, fine.
Absolutely not. This has been a good one. Thank you so much for coming on our show, Jeff.
Thank you for having
Applause
me.
for
Jeff DePaoli.
Woo!
Thank you.
It was a pleasure
host
having
of Disney
you
Coast to Coast. Coming on.
DisneyCoastToCoast.com. Plug.
Yeah, no, plug your
Please
stuff.
tell us,
Plug
where can they
everything.
find you on Twitter?
Find you everywhere.
Well, me on Twitter, it's at Jeff DePaoli, JeffDePaoli. That's Twitter, Periscope, Blab, Instagram.
Make sure you're following him on Periscope and Blab. His daily Disney decisions and everything he does on there is amazing.
Perfect.
You.
We
And
love it.
That's my stuff for Disney Coast to Coast. It's at Disney CTC, at DIZNEYCTC for Instagram, Twitter, and something else. We're on Tumblr, Facebook. Search for Disney Coast to Coast. Just go to DisneyCoastToCoast.com.
You'll find
and
it
that's where
all.
you'll find all that stuff.
And even if you spell it wrong, you'll still get there,
I'm
right?
sure if you Google it too, you'll find you immediately.
I don't know. I've never Googled it, to be honest. But spell it with an S or a Z, and it'll take you to the right place.
Nice.
.com. So
Awesome. That's great. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was actually really fun having like 3 people to discuss.
Yeah.
And
At the round table.
Yeah, at the
going
round
over.
table. This was fun. We're going to have to get more guests. And
Absolutely.
you are welcome to come on our show anytime that
Absolutely.
you want to.
Fantastic.
You're
Thank
more
you.
than welcome. We love having you here.
Thank you.
So much fun. Mm-hmm. And, for us, you can find us at Park Fanatic everywhere.
Yeah, on
On
Facebook,
everything.
Twitter. Follow us on Periscope. We're starting to do more Periscopes, right, Gabe?
Yeah, I start
kinda
talking
trying to
about
copy
haunt
you.
stuff forever and a day. And
Yeah.
you're
he's
so
gonna-
good at like figuring out the
Holy
clues and
crap,
stuff.
isn't he?
Seriously, I'm going to tell you something that happened. A tangent.
This is the story of today, by the way. Tangents.
Yes.
Our episode name is going to be episode 8. Tangents.
Star Wars Land and Tangents. They announced the whole "this is the end" thing, and my friend who works Halloween Horror Nights texted me, was like, "Oh my god, did you hear about this is the end?" I'm like, "Yeah, I heard about that like a week ago." I'm like, "Didn't you tell me?" He's like, "I didn't know," and then I realized it was because you deciphered a clue and tweeted it,
Yeah.
and I heard about it because of your deciphering of the clue. So.
Oh,
Well,
gosh,
thank you.
he's
That
on
actually,
top of it.
That makes me really happy and very excited that somebody's actually listening to that. Because I feel like I'm
Nerd.
I feel like I'm talking to myself when I do that, when I post stuff like that.
Oh,
but
so funny.
Yeah, I mean, I try really hard because I'm such a fan of Halloween
fanatic,
and
maybe
haunt.
even.
A fanatic about haunt and all that stuff. Halloween Horror Nights, Scary Farm, Queen Mary. And whenever they release clues, I'm so interested in trying to find out what it is. And that one to me, it immediately was just click. I knew what it was because I had seen the movie.
Yeah.
And I've gotten really excited.
I'd seen the movie too, and I had no clue.
No idea. Like, you just picked that all together. And with the Deadly Seven, you also
Yeah, the
picked that
Deadly
out.
Seven.
Well, I have to give props to Hauntman because Hauntman started it. Hauntman is a guy who's on Instagram and he was looking at Parks and Cons clue box and he looked at their thing and he's like, I don't know what the word fill-ins are, but I know that it's pointing towards gluttony. I was like, that makes sense because the other one I thought was lust or something or sloth.
No, but he's on top of it. And he also was the first to post that Paranormal Inc. video that they sent you, too.
Oh, yeah,
Because the second Parks and Cons had that Periscope. He was like calling the number,
I called the
emailing
number,
people.
I found the
figuring
website, emailed the people, then I got the video
Within, like,
sent to
5
me.
minutes
and
of
I
that
actually
Periscope.
I periscoped
the
the
video.
first time I watched it because I hadn't watched it before periscoping. It was the first time I had seen it, so when I watched it the first time, everyone watched it the first time. So and I
was
posted
very
that
cool.
to YouTube immediately,
Cool.
as fast as I could.
Got a lot of views on that. And
I'm excited. I'm excited for Haunt and all that stuff. I love figuring out clues. I think it's so much fun, especially. God, I wish we got a clue box.
Oh yeah,
I wanted a clue box
Next
so
year.
bad. if we're that big enough, if we're important enough to get one.
Well, thanks to our followers for getting us there, right?
Yeah.
We hit 500 followers.
Yeah, on Twitter.
Yay.
Yay.
Oh, cool.
500 followers. We're moving up, man.
It's a small goal and a small achievement, but to us it's a
Feels
big deal.
great.
And it feels
That's
really
awesome.
good. And thanks for everybody who follows us on Instagram, on Twitter.
Thanks for subscribing
Facebook,
in
everything.
iTunes.
Yeah, that's great, guys.
Absolutely.
Oh, iTunes reviews. Leave Disney Coast to Coast an iTunes review.
yes, we
and
have-
leave Park Fanatics. Oh, do you have something to announce? Read.
We do. No.
By the way, it wasn't Johnny Depp. It was Jeff DePaoli leaving an iTunes review.
They're both just as important. Yes.
Oh, thanks.
If not more important either.
That was cracking me up because what I said like J Depp or something like that, and they're like, "It's Johnny Depp." I'm like,
Obviously.
"It's me."
Well, thank you for leaving that.
Oh, you're welcome.
We always say the easiest way to get on our show is to leave us a review, and look, now you're on our show.
Hey, there we go.
We have some new ones though, Gabe. We have.
Do we have new ones?
Yeah, we do. Last one we
You're
announced
keeping
was from
track
Johnny
of these
Depp.
things. That was like 4 episodes ago.
No, that was last episode.
No, it was
No.
not.
Oh, was it?
don't
No,
think
2
so.
episodes ago. something
You're
like
losing track of time, man.
that. I know, man. How many episodes is
This is
number
8.
8. Wow.
This is 8. It's only single digits, but it feels like we've been doing it forever.
I know, it's crazy.
Is this what married life feels like?
I wouldn't know, but I'll tell you, it flies by because we're in like the 80s, I think, for Disney Coast to Coast.
How many years have you been doing
Wow.
Disney Coast to Coast?
February 2014 is when we started.
This is your second
Once a week.
season?
Second season. Third
And-
season starts in January 2016,
Wow.
and yeah.
Okay, wow.
I mean, it's been a fun run to do. I mean, like, this is the first time for me and him to be doing a podcast or a show,
Yeah.
just where we want to talk about dorky stuff, and it's been so much fun to experience, like meeting new people, like meeting new friends like you, and getting to talk to more people in depth about the things that we love. I mean, I think that's part of the fun, is meeting the people who love exactly what you love that much.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So I think the most recent one that we got was from Ruby Mine. Oh no,
Jeff Tucker left us a review.
Jeff Tucker. I was
Which,
trying
by
to
the-
announce the other ones first because Jeff Tucker's the one we were freaking out about the most.
We got really excited about that one.
Holy crap.
Very excited about that
Oh
one.
my God, Jeff Tucker, 91 Reasons left this one. Do you want to read it or can I read it?
You can read it. You got it going.
All right, let's.
Which, by the way, shout out to 91 Reasons.
Thank you
Listen
so
to that
much.
podcast.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All the way around.
Absolutely.
You can hear me on an episode of it.
Yeah,
with
the
review of
Jurassic
Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, check out the Jurassic World episode.
If
So
you
from
love Jeff's voice.
Oh, who
more
doesn't?
of it.
If you love Jurassic World, because I
Both
do.
Jeffs.
Secret, Jeff Tucker doesn't.
Really?
Hey, that movie sucks.
Hey,
I'm joking. I loved it.
Love it.
I loved it too. I just wanted to see your
I love
reaction.
it. No, I love
I
it.
loved it just as much.
So, from 91 Reasons, Gabe and Garrett do a great job of keeping you up to date on theme parks, while at the same time keeping the show fun and light. You don't listen to the Park Fanatic, you enjoy it. I keep it right in my top 10. Holy crap, what an idea. See you at the park. Jeff Tucker, host of 91 Reasons. He
Thank you.
listens to our podcast.
See, it's funny. Whenever we meet somebody that listens to us, we're like, "You listen to us?"
I know. When you said the same thing, my heart skipped a beat. I was like, "Oh, he listened."
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You're funny.
And also shout out to Extended Queue for the wonderful drinks that we had.
Absolutely.
Yes, Garrett finally got me the drinks.
I know, I kept forgetting to bring them.
It took a while. He kept forgetting to
They were
bring my
good.
beers.
They were still fresh, weren't they?
They were still fresh and they were
Absolutely
delicious extended
delicious
brew. So make
we
sure you
chilled
guys.
them down too.
I drank mine slow. I enjoyed it. I savored it. Just like waiting in a long line.
Savor the flavor.
That's really weird and gross. Why would you say that?
Well, because I
You
savor
said it.
flavors. Why? What's so wrong with that?
Anyway, follow Extended Q on Twitter and listen to their podcast. They're fantastic. They're the
Absolutely.
Cagney and Lacey of podcasts. So, and we had a phone ring. Goodness gracious, Garrett.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
That never happened.
What are you talking about?
He
Crazy.
literally ran away from the mic.
Hey,
I'm gonna leave that in to embarrass you.
that was me.
As the
being
seconds
dedicated,
tick
I
by, all I'm thinking of is Rick West,
Yep.
who says, "If it's over an hour,
Not going to listen to it. Sorry, Rick. We apologize.
not all of it.
Oh, he didn't make it this far, so don't
No,
worry.
he won't hear it.
I'll edit this portion at the beginning so I could tell him sorry personally. Sorry that it's going an hour, over an hour.
Yeah, it
But
happens.
at least we don't have songs in the middle.
True.
No songs, no music, just a little outro.
Yeah. So, thanks for listening to the episode, guys. We had a
Absolutely.
great time doing this. And
Gabe, where can they find you on Twitter?
you can find me at Lakers793 on Twitter.
Jeff, you can find at Jeff DePaoli on Twitter and Instagram and Periscope. And you can find me at The Coaster Roll on Twitter as well.
You know what, Jeff? I'm going to let you finish this one out for us.
Don't be a fan, be a fanatic.